Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Addicted Podcast, episode number 49, or almost a year now.
Wow.
Welcome. We are indeed on the Britizencon channel for a special today, and we are joined by a little bit of madness to my that way.
I need to adjust myself so I don't have my sign in
Adjust
front of my
yourself,
mouth.
nice. Biomechanical.
Hello.
And welcome back, Mr. Soldotcreate.
Yes.
Yeah. He doesn't know what planet he's on.
What's up, dog one?
He's still catching up. It's been a while.
Yeah, he's like, oh, would this show again? And he's like, I didn't.
How does
Are we live?
How does this all work? I can't remember. So yes, welcome. This is, as I said, episode number 49. We are today on the Britizencon channel. We just agreed to do a little bit of not sponsorship, advertising for them, I suppose is the best way of putting it. We were trying to get the word out for the event that's on next year, so it will be getting live streamed on this very channel. So if you're not already following the Britizencon channel, please make sure you do give this channel a follow. And then on April the 21st, 2018, you will be able to, if you can't make it to the actual event, which hopefully most of you can, you'll be able to come and watch it on here instead. So,
I'll do a bit of dancing for you, Toby.
A little bit of dancing. Right, so we've got nothing's been happening over the last few weeks. This thing called 3.0, really. I think people have been playing, something like that. But
to be honest, I'm pretty bored. I mean, it's pretty tough going, really, all this amazingness. Desktop screensavers. It's been hard going. It's been very, very hard going. I did have a little song today on my stream, a little cry, with a little weep between the few of us. We did start singing 2.6.3, chanting 2.6.3, but that was just because we're the combat pilots and we're all missing. We're missing our combat shooting. I was like 30 minutes in, I was like, oh, I just missed the simplicity of shooting something. So yeah, that's my experience of 3.0 right now. I want to shoot something. Poor old Toby. He felt the brunt of it a few days ago.
Did you go on his stream again?
I may have shot him on the stream. I was getting a bit twitchy. It's got a little bit of a twitch going, you know. It's like I haven't shot anything for like 3-4 weeks now. It's starting to get to me.
I did notice early on in 3.0 when they opened it up to everybody. One of the first things they explored one of the outposts, and someone else came along, and the instant reaction was to shoot at me. It's like, really, you've had the game for less than 20 minutes, and your first thing is, oh, let's kill players. They've only taken them about 3 days to get to this outpost, but it's fine.
Let's go and kill them. But, so,
Madness and I did do a dual stream.
We did, yes.
Which was good fun. It took us 2 hours to get into a ship.
Well, I think that was the thing. Is I was expecting it to be a bit like fun and easy, but then it was like it was horrible. It was so
easy
buggy
to get onto the same server.
Yeah.
That bit was easy.
It was really
that's got a lot better, isn't it?
It was so hard to get you onto a ship or try and get, like, we were trying. Was it trying to get a dragonfly? We tried to get a dragonfly into the back.
So they said that the getting like a ship inside ship was working again. So we thought, like, one of the things I've always wanted to do, like when we kept saying, like, what's the first thing you want to do when you get into 3.0? Like mine was to get to like a planet and then get on like one of the motorbikes and ride those around the planet's surface to explore a little bit that way. So right, get on the same server, get a Cutlass black because they're the flavour of the month. Get a bike, stick it in the back, go to a planet, land, and we can both ride on the same bike and explore and whatever.
How hard could it be?
How hard could it be? How hard? It's simple, and I know it's alpha, so don't start shouting that in chat. We all get that, but it was so we got the Cutlass to spawn eventually. That was tricky enough. It spawned without doors and without.
You have to claim it. You have to reclaim it
to be there and things like that. Then I don't know what was going on. I think I even just struggled getting into it, didn't I? Like, there was one point I just walked up, literally just thought, right, fuck the bike, we're just going to walk up the ramp. And I walked up the ramp, and then it kept veering off to the corner edge. and I was getting stuck with like the hinges to lift the door up, and I just couldn't move. And Madison was going, just walk in the fucking ship, and I literally just couldn't get
I'm not joking. And then it was like you would die, and then you had to go to the other side, and then it was like it was this just farce of just comical moments of trying to get. Eventually, I think we just eventually gave up being able to do it. We said, "Fuck it, let's just spawn a ship."
I died over the other strut, and so you decided to come up and pick me up instead. You go, right, we'll do it that way. So you come up to the other side, and then you land and get told off for landing the ship without permission.
And then it took the ship away. So obviously it takes the ship away if you land incorrectly, or they want the landing base, so the ship disappears. It was just a comedy of errors, basically, and it was quite fun anyway. It was definitely fun. We did manage to get on planet eventually, which was quite fun as well. So but they have improved it. I mean, the patches, they've been constantly, the Delta patcher is definitely is great, right? Because we've been getting pretty good updates consistently. So, it's so funny how quickly you adopt a new piece of technology and forget,
how it was before.
How shitty it was before. Sometimes I feel like they should take the Delta patcher away in a couple of months and say, now this is what it will be like again. Just remember, just don't forget how good this Delta patcher is. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. And then we had, because we did quite a few things.
We did eventually get it all to work. We managed to get, we didn't get the bike in the back, but we managed to all get.
No, we did.
We did get the bike in the back.
And it's not only that, it spawned when I respawned the Cutlass, the bike was still in it as well. Do you remember?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
So yeah, we managed to do that eventually. Then we got to one of the outposts on, was it Yellow? I think we went to in the end. And we wasn't so successful at getting the bike back out of the Cutlass, so we just decided it was really nice. We managed to land just as the sun was rising in one of the outposts, that was awesome. So there's one thing about 3.0 at least is the game looks.
Can I give you guys some tips? So if you try to enter the Cutlass, instead of using WA as in D, use Alt WA as in D. So that is like the finer movements. And me and Drones did it without any issues 2 days ago. We just immediately in there, put them down on the two spots on the sides. On the yellow. So instead of using WA as and D, use Alt W.
What does the Alt do?
It makes you move very slow. It's precision movement, basically.
Okay.
We'll try it. I'll try
it. It works really well.
I kept just finding it kept dragging down to the surface all the time. Kept pulling it down.
No, so what you do is you stay on the bike and as soon as you're above it, you turn the engines off, and it just falls onto the spot. It basically.
Yeah, we did that. At first time I just jumped off because I was so glad about actually getting in the back of the Cutlass. I just jumped off, and the fucking dragonfly just started bouncing all over.
Started bouncing.
I was terrified. I was frozen.
Is this even safe?
If you go in with but you hold Alt. Right. And then you use your WA as and D keys for the precision movement.
Okay, I missed that.
That's good to know.
The first time we did it was before the patch, and the whole ship goes like this.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But that's gone now. At least the last time I tried it was gone.
Okay, I'll definitely give that a try then.
Yeah, no.
Then when we did finally, so we decided to spawn the bikes in the end. We found the landing zone where you could spawn the ships. And you spawned the Nox and I spawned the Dragonfly.
I've never flown.
I've never flown my Dragonfly, and literally I thought, at last, I think it took us like 3 hours. Was at the end of the stream, and I was like, at last, I finally got onto the planet surface on a bike. Went 3 seconds forward, and then it just for no reason whatsoever just pinged me out into atmosphere. I was like, you fucking joking? And then I pressed the wrong button to stop myself, and I jumped off my bike, and I just floated in space as my bike went like 70 kilometers. So I just watched this dragonfly keep going and going. I was like, fuck.
What was quite amusing was I think we both did exactly the same thing on different bikes. I ended up taking the Nox for a spin, and I remember, I think it was Crazy actually who's in chat now. I think either Crazy was there, and he said, "Good luck." I think was the comment that he said. As I busted, I was like, "Yeah, this sounds amazing." And I was like, really cool. And then all of a sudden, I just hit something, and it was like. In orbit,
the Nox is really kind of mental at the moment, isn't it?
It's all over the place.
I was trying to kind of get the Nox inside Port Olison. I just couldn't.
No.
It's mental.
It's the Dragonfly of the two of the bikes is definitely the most stable.
At the moment, definitely, yeah.
Because I was flying today with Nexium, and we tried to chase trying to get to daylight, but Nexium's sense of direction clearly had no idea what he was doing. So I think we were actually following the opposite. We were actually following the night. We're actually following the night rather than the daylight, because it just seemed to go on forever. But yeah, it was so cool though, having the two dragonflies like next to each other and then like zooming past each other. And
that's what I wanted to do. Why was it so hard?
Wicked. I know, but it would have been wicked. We'll try again. We can always try again. Yeah, we'll do. Try again tomorrow. It'll be fine. It'll work really easy. Although today, I don't know about you guys, but has anyone had problems? Because all the servers but Australia have not worked today.
Yeah, I've not been able to play the game. I went on to the Australian servers and I just couldn't do anything. I haven't played this patch yet.
Aussie works well. You haven't played this patch, but you played other ones though, right?
Yeah, I've played all the other ones, and I've had some, like the funniest thing is like, not this one, not the one before, but the one before that was amazing. I found like you could really go for a long time, and I had like, I think my longest one was like over 2 hours.
Yeah,
and without even being kicked off. And then the next one was supposed to be better, but made it worse. Yeah, a lot worse. And then this one was supposed to be a hot fix of that one, but no one can join.
Yeah. It's weird. I agree with you. I think it was about 2 patches ago. They did one, I think, and it was so good. But I part of me worries that maybe it was so good because the ones before that were so shit. And then do you know what I mean? It's like it made such a step forward. But if it had actually been some of these other patches and it had been a step forward, you wouldn't really probably have noticed it as much.
Yeah, true.
That's the way.
The thing is, each patch is fixing like a different thing. So. And then again, obviously that's what's happening. It breaks other things, so it's very difficult to work out which one's fixing, which one's doing what. Really,
we'll get there eventually. You know, I had a funny one with drones where we were in a caterpillar and I opened the door, but it immediately closes again.
Yeah, they're like that all the time. Still
and well, we got the knocks in eventually. It took a bit of timing. But we got it in there.
You got it in. That's what it is. Persistence, right?
That's it.
That dogged persistence.
And then try and get it out, and there's an invisible wall because you can't get it out anymore.
No. Classic. It's classic man thinking. I'm getting this in.
Yeah, somebody tried doing that the other day, and they just blew up.
Oh, did they? Wow.
Tried getting the knocks in, and it just didn't work. No, because the doors just closed on it.
We've done stuff like that before.
It's fun and games. I think it is all good, and you know, it's in a way the bugs actually make it quite entertaining, because a part of me thinks if this all worked very, very smoothly, I mean, I'm sure it would be great, and don't get me wrong, but perhaps, just perhaps, it might not be quite so much fun, if I'm being honest.
Well,
you know, sometimes the bugs are actually
always a bit of fun. I mean, to a degree. I mean, like we've said before, I think things blowing up, things not quite working are. That you get used to that as a bug tester. It's the disconnects and not being able to join servers is what becomes the more frustrating thing, because you can't do anything. And I mean, again, as always, it's like a balance between, obviously, most people that are playing it want to play rather than test, whereas we are still really meant to be in the test phase. And that's the difficulty. And on that point, we've got something that I'll bring up in a bit. But because it's linked to that. In fact, I'll bring it up now, because there's a document basically that CIG have released, because I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are aware that people have been playing on like the offline mode. Okay, so to get better frames and everything else, which obviously I think we touched it a bit last week as well, on saying how that completely defeats the point of this PTU. So you may want to play it and it's all great and, oh, look at me, I get to actually touch 3.0, but you're ruining it for everybody else, because they need this feedback of the crashes and the bugs so that they can actually fix it to release it. And if we all played offline...
Not just that though, Miss. I've heard something else. They said to me that it's you're sending false readings back to them as well.
Yeah, because you're not offline. That's what we said before. You're not actually offline. You're playing on, you're creating your own instance on their servers, so you're using their servers and bandwidth up, and you're playing it incorrectly. So I'll just pull this up. It was just a quote from CIG somewhere, But this is their basically their stance on it.
It is now. You can be banned, you'll be kicked, and you won't get onto that. I wouldn't do it. You might not get onto the PTU ever again, type of thing. You know, it's just not worth it. You'll get you.
So there we go. That's just their stance on it, which is exactly what you just said. So basically, running this cheat engine or modifying any of the software outside its intended use is a conflict of the terms and service and is prohibited. While they appreciate turning off the offline mode will give you better performance, but it doesn't help them isolate the problems that they need to resolve. So as frustrating as crashing, latency and performance issues may be, they actually use it for very useful metric data. So which is used to fashion solutions even, which is what they then use to bug fix. So by going offline and modifying the client, it doesn't generate the data that they actually need. And so therefore, do not do it. If you don't like the bugginess, if you don't like the lag, go and play 2.6 and just leave it alone. It's not ready. It's there for bug testing. It's there to make it better.
Yeah, I agree. One warning for this one, and then that's it. Because some people obviously do it because they, you know, I get why they do it. But it's obviously now it's like, hey, don't do this because it's bad. We don't need it. But also you forget, like, if none of us are able to play the game, that means they're not getting any readings. So therefore, the biggest reading that they will be getting is we haven't got a working game for any or a working PTU for anyone to play. So we need to fix it quick. So you know, the last thing they need is tons of people suddenly doing offline stuff, sending them readings that they're playing, because then they'll be thinking, oh, it's working. Whereas we're all like,
well, you also get people
unless they're doing it to catch the people that are using the offline mode.
I don't think they're trying to catch anyone out.
They don't want that. They want to fix the bugs and the beta that they've got. But I mean, some people will play it in offline mode, not really knowing what they're doing, and then they'll still bug report from the offline mode, which is even worse. So. You know, that's basically it.
That's
just
literally like robbing someone and taking a photo as you're doing it, and then posting it to the police, saying, "Oh, I don't even know what that is." I
stole this car, but it doesn't drive right. What's the matter with it?
Exactly. Taking it back the next day to the garage. This is just not good. This is not working. It's not working.
Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as that. You know, it is. That's it. It's there for testing. Test it, report your bugs. If you don't like it, stop playing. Don't do it offline.
If you don't like it, don't be in PTU, basically. That's what the whole point is, to be in PTU. We're doing our little bit by pressing that report button at the end when it crashes. Bing.
No, that's the only little bit that you do is press the report button at the end of the thing.
I sign into the correct PTU. I play the game. Then if things crash, I press that little button that says report this information, and I've done my bit. I could do more. I know I could do more, and I will do eventually. But I need to learn how to do it properly, easily, and someone just hold my hand.
To fix the volumes.
What bug reporting?
What volumes?
Start going to the issue council for a start.
According to chat, you need to fix the volumes.
Yeah, apparently you were quiet, Miz, and then now you're loud, and everyone else is quiet.
Change it a bit.
Just for those who are having volume problems, you have actually.
It doesn't help when people keep doing things like that and changing every 5 minutes and talking this close to the microphone.
You've got a volume slide on your screen. Just turn it up.
You wiggle a lot, yeah.
I do.
You do, and I do it as well. So.
I do apologize. I get a little bit jazzy.
They're very animated a lot here. They don't like. They need to learn how to broadcast, which is by sitting still.
If I sit back,
I need one of those microphones to hold over my mouth.
Just like but with the lip bit on it, so you keep it on your top lip.
Permanently, distance, never moving. Okay, I'm listening with speakers. Headphones might be better. Okay, but for now. At least everyone except me.
It's not. Madness does fluctuate in his volume levels. For sure.
I do, and it's something. It's.
He just likes to put his sexy voice on every now and again. You see, he's trying to seduce chat while he's going on with it.
yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway, so we'll move on from that one.
Move on. We're moving on. Moving on.
So as I said at the start, we'll go recap just a slightly bit, but so we're doing this obviously on the Britizencon channel to help advertise next year's community-run event, which is called Britizencon. You can do !Brit in chat to find out the details of it, And we also have some information on one of the things that... So with the tickets and the different tiers, there is a raffle ticket that comes with your actual purchase of a ticket. And I think you can also buy extra raffle tickets while you're there.
Get down.
We now have
discount still. Do we have any tickets left of our code, or have they all gone now?
I'm not sure if they're all used. I mean, people can try. But I think they may have been used. But
I think it's just So if you wanted to get a ticket, addicted was the code, and you get like a 10% off or something like that, or £5 off the ticket. I can't remember, something like that.
Yeah,
it's something. You get something anyway. So if you try, you can use the addicted. If it doesn't work, that means they're all gone.
Yeah, pretty much. It gives you off the standard ticket. So anyone that was at Citizencon or watched any other live streams would notice this. Saber Raven model that was there, and this guy in front was the bloke that made it. No, you're not going to be able to win that, unfortunately, but that would have been a nice prize to give away. However, he is creating a box to give away on the raffle, so this will be part of the raffle, and it's basically a representation of the crates that you're getting in game at the moment, but it's going to be turned into a PC case. So this will be the raffle prize for those that buy tickets to the event. And the information on it is that, I mean, the stuff he makes is amazing anyway. So this is a custom crate that has been designed and built to be used as a PC chassis, so you can build the ultimate Star Citizen themed rig. It has a 200mm front intake fan included. What?
The man has just got timed out by his own bot.
It's not my bot. This is not my channel. Okay. This is obviously Britizen channel.
That was a good one. Sorry to interrupt you there, man.
Sorry, Miss. Sorry. I wasn't trying to interrupt you with my fact that I got blocked. I was trying to add that's John Rain, by the way. Is the guy that does
John Rain, yes. Sorry.
And I give up. There's his Twitter link, so if anyone has not followed him, go follow him. His stuff is amazing.
Yeah, I'll try and sort out the permissions in a minute. I thought I turned that off on Nightbot, but yeah.
It's alright.
So yeah, to PC chassis, that's the one. Included an rear mount for up to 36mm for anyone that likes all that sort of stuff. And it's also going to have a 7-inch touchscreen powered by Raspberry Pi, giving you the realistic interface to control your PC power functions. But sadly, no LTI. So yeah. And I think he's supposed to be building some part of a set or something for the actual Britizencon show as well. So I'd be interested to see that. So yeah, here's just a few. These are rendered images. This isn't the box itself yet. It's in production. But that's a pretty sweet.
Can we get him to make a statue of a little bit of madness for the winner of last year's?
You never could ask him, right? Be able to. You never know. You never know. Well, is that? Yeah, that would be. That would be
just
good,
you naked with a leaf in front of your ding-along.
It'd have to be an average side leaf, that's for sure.
So yeah, if you want to be in chance of winning one of those, then buy a ticket to Britizencon and you'll be entered into the raffle.
Which price is that from? Is that the £50 one up, isn't it?
Any of them, I believe. It's just the actual standard raffle. Does a standard ticket have a raffle ticket in it?
No, I don't think it does. No, because there's a standard ticket, and then it's got bronze tier ticket T-shirt with shipping and raffle tickets. So,
okay, so from the
£50 upwards. Like last year, Miss, where you can buy tickets at the event as well. Is that something that's going to be there?
Yes. So you're going to be able to buy the raffle tickets at the event, I believe, and also the entrance tickets will be available on the door at the event. However, they will be more expensive on the day, and obviously if the tickets sell out, then you won't be able to get it that way. But that's that. Yeah. But yeah, they're still there on there. So if you want to, buy a ticket, go to !ticket in chat also works. Should take you directly to where the ticket thing is. And also, if you go for the T-shirt level, this is the T-shirt you get. So there we go.
Sorry.
Boom. That's that.
Boom.
Okay.
Cool. Boom. Oh, nice.
And we'll all be going. Are we all going? Yeah. Are you still going, Sol? Or are you not sure?
I definitely think, Sol, you could have a crack at that logo next year, I reckon.
Yeah.
The Britizencon one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still. Yes. I plan to go.
I
just need to get some time off
stab at that next year.
Yeah, sort that out.
I'll be there.
I'm
And
definitely
Mac and
going
myself
for
will be
defending-
hosting the stream as well.
I've got to defend. I've got to try and defend the title as best I can, at least see if I can get into top 3 again, top 3 finish. But judging on the new flight model, I don't know. I'm not going to have much practice, that's for sure. It's not. Yeah, I'm concerned.
Someone's going to try and come, especially for you, Madness. By the way.
Oh, that's nice.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah, someone's going to try and go to Britizencon.
Emma Watson. Emma Watson.
No, Maverick. He's literally going to try and fly all the way over from America just to beat you.
Just to beat you.
So Madness.
Just to
that
take
would be
that
a long way to. That would be a long way to come and lose. That's all I'm saying.
I would. And I would never let him live it down. I would never let him feel.
It would be like
whispering here. The champ is here. The champ.
Do you know what would be even funnier is if he didn't get to fight me and he fought Zach and got beaten by Zach. I'd be like, well, we never found out, did we, buddy? No, never mind.
We need a bigger car though next year, Madness, because I'm a fat fucker and your ego doesn't fit in the fucking car. So.
My ego and you don't fit in the car. That's what you're saying. Neither of us can get in the car.
No, I'm fine normally, but with your ego in it as well, it's going to be
my ego.
It's a tight fit.
This is what I really, just mute you and just have this hand gesture, and that's all I need in my life right now. It's fantastic.
I love you.
Okay, so I guess we've rounding. Has anyone else got anything exciting they wanted to kind of add that they've been up to this week? Anything big? I mean,
yeah,
Saul's obviously shaved his head. That's very big news.
It's getting a bit chilly now. It's not the wrong time of year to do that.
I bet, yeah.
I had to. I said 3.0. I'll take it off.
Shaved it off, did you?
Yeah.
That was it.
So you didn't go with Disco's thing, and it's not wait until live.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not live. He just went sod it. I'll just shave it straight off.
Yeah, I didn't feel like doing my hair anymore, so I was like, fuck it.
Fair enough. Bio, yourself, anything you want to add this week?
Well, what I've done this week?
Yeah, anything good?
Pretty much working.
You done a new show again, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. We did Theories of the Verse episode 2. It was pretty good. We had quite a lot of people in channel. We had over 50 people in channel. It was quite nice.
Nice.
We had a lot of people chatting. Seems like we did bounty hunting. So basically, what we've been doing is we pick a topic each week. And last week's topic was bounty hunting. And we basically went into great detail of what we know already. And then we go in and speculate and theorize about it all. And yeah, we kind of came up with some really cool stuff. People really got chatting in the chat. Yeah, it was really cool. And I think we're going to try and get Matachi on hopefully next week. We've got to try and speak to him, see if he's free.
Yeah. Do you know what? I noticed that my royalties for giving you the correct name for your show hasn't arrived, the royalty check. And I'll make sure to send that through again, just because I think you might have obviously slipped your email that you didn't get.
Must have deleted it by mistake, gone into his spam box or something.
Because we all knew. I mean, we all knew that Whispers of the Verse was never going to work. So.
Yeah, like okay. I see. I was going to send you a check. Here's your check, mate.
Oh, outrageous, Miz. Just press that little button on the side that says bye-bye. Eject
so there's your check, buddy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, honestly, no, thank you. Like, because it originally was going to be called Whispers the Verse. And the amount of people that kind of eventually told me how they thought that name was shit.
For a chat.
Afterwards,
we want to theorize about the universe.
Listen, Whispers of the Verse is still better than fucking Addicted Podcast. So
yeah, no, exactly. I was going to say
good one on that.
Way more popular than
our show.
But no, yeah, it was really, really good. It was really good. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, and the next one's going to be on Joshua Fett's channel.
Okay.
Cool.
So, yeah. Cool. And we're not quite sure what we're going to be talking about. Yeah, I think we're going to be
another Boba Fett fan.
Another Boba Fett fan, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how they seem to spring up all over the place in sci-fi games.
Someone's got to be doing it.
Someone's got exactly. There's got to be.
The thing is, you're limited to the amount of bounty hunters in like sci-fi.
A lot of shit seems to spring up again since 3.0 is inside. Huh?
What?
No, I mean if you're gonna aim,
fucking every man and his dog is playing it again.
Well, that's to be expected, right? They'll go away. Don't worry. Eventually. The true believers will stick to it.
Oh, but that's what I love, that's what I praise as well. I think I said it on Twitter as well. All the guys that sat through 263.
The ones who sat through it for the whole year. I have respect for. I know the people. We all know here, and we all know at home the people who you know, who are the ones.
What does it matter? There's not a slider of how big a fan you are.
No,
you can come and go as you please.
To me, I remember
how big a fan I am. I tell you
that. I just make notes of people. I make notes of people.
In all honesty, though, guys, I don't know how you feel, but
and the chat as well. Chat as well. I'm not just talking about us streamers. Talk about chat as well.
Chat as well, yeah.
The ones that are hanging out in chat all the time.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I enjoy 3.0, man. It's good. It is so.
Get my respect. You liking it?
I'm loving it. I don't know how you guys. We all know
when it's working,
anyway,
it's when it's working, it's amazing.
But we knew that we're PTU testers, so you know that you're going to get shite. Otherwise, you have to wait till it goes live, you know, and then still, it's always a question.
I have a few things. And I will.
You've written them down.
Hang on, I've got to find my shocked face somewhere.
Well, it's because I've been trying to do missions recently. Okay, so this is my experience.
Hasn't the test thing been telling us that we're not supposed to be doing missions yet?
Yes.
Just wondering.
But I mean, just
focus on something else. You know?
I've just been trying to run a few missions anyway, just to see how they feel and just to kind of make a few things. And I think the first thing for me is how plainly awkward sometimes, like, you know, just the activation of a mission and like figuring out where it is. So I'm hoping, like you said,
but that is the reason.
Once we go, once they set it and they say, hey, we want you, it's fully activated now or implemented now. I'm hoping these things that I'm about to say, just a few things, will be there. You know, one of them being, you know, when you select the mission, it's very hard to like pinpoint. I still find the Moby Glass. I'm hoping when you go in your ship, they're going to enable the HUD on the ship to become your Moby Glass.
Well, that's what they're working on. Yeah.
Which is going to be good when they do that. And then the other thing is just this whole, just navigation and remembering locations and this constant having to always set a destination all the time gets a bit tedious at times. I wish there was a bit of a quicker way to, like before it was, you know, this doesn't seem to be a problem when you land on a planet, for example, and you can see OM like you could do in 2.6 and go to that location. You know what I mean? You can jump to that location.
Like I think it needs like I mean, it's all a work in progress, but it would be nice to see a kind of multi-tiered system. So if it's things that are reasonably close, you can see them. You can just press like the old quantum jump button, and it'll come up and it'll highlight a few within range type of thing, or at least I don't know. Maybe you could set a range or something, so you could, or like or ones that come up that are on your mission or something. As long as you're tracking the mission and you do your quantum, press that button up. Maybe those ones would highlight, not every single one. And then it would be quite nice if you pulled up your Moby Glass, whether you could plot a course rather than just pick one. So if you know you've got to go to like Yellow first, then to one of the outer rings, and then down, it would be nice if you could plot three, and then you wouldn't have to keep going back every single jump. So you can do one, and it'll automatically line you up for the next one. Not face you, but just set the next waypoint up. I think that would make a huge improvement, because I think that's the thing. It's just it's kind of tedious. Keep bringing up the map, and it's a little bit slow as well. You have to wait for that to come up. Then you go to the next one. Zoom, you know, it's always the zooming in or the zooming out. You know, there's lots of little steps to get to something, and it's and I think the Inner Thoughts kind of created that on some things. I know there's some shortcut buttons, and I think that's what we're all going to have to end up using a lot more of. So it's like to start your ship as F5 rather than clicking every button. But it's,
and if you press the home button, it will bring up the map.
It's like just getting out of your easy heb. You've got to walk up to the door, you've got to hold down F, wait for your Inner Thought, press the button to get your Inner Thought up, then click the button. Whereas before you just either walked up to it and spammed, therefore it just opened. So there's a little bit of tweaking, and there's a lot of places where the Inner Thought is definitely a better system. There's other places where just a button press would do. You know, when there's only one real option, the door's closed, just press a button to open it. We don't need to think about that. I don't walk to my front door and say, she's closed. What shall I do?
Well, get the keys, do the thing.
Yeah, you do, but it's all an automated process. It's all in your unconscious anyway. So if you filter that, I think I have to agree with Ms. there. If you filter those things out, there's definitely places where the Inner Thought is really good. But going through a door, just automate it. Change ship doors, though. I don't think ship doors should be automated, because there could be situations where you
ship doors don't need to be. Yeah, ship doors don't agree with
that. Easy habs and
have one of those keys on you. When you get too close, it opens.
It depends. It depends the doors. I always think like external doors to a degree should be, you know, that choice. And then I think like, but lift doors and stuff, should all be automatic. You shouldn't have to go up to them
lift doors,
press the fucking. It's those things. Like I'm thinking of Star Trek. You know, you see them go up to the bridge. They don't. I feel like I don't see them having to press 15 million buttons to open the door to get onto the bridge.
Even my dentist store automatically opens when I walk up to it now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously raking in far too much cash, but you go in the driveway to walk it, and just door just goes and opens up for you. It's like,
welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome. We're about to rip
spend
you
your
off.
money.
A good way to do it is for you to have it might sound really weird, have a selection menu where you can say, Misc, for example, wants to open that door manually, but Madness wants it to open automatically. So why don't you make for each, and it sounds stupid maybe, for each door specific that you can say, I want this one open automatically or manually.
But how would you do that for every door? You go around to every door and say, I want this automatic.
Well,
that will take you forever.
Places where you are a lot, you can obviously do that. You know, if you're, stupid example, if you're in, what's the place called? Delamar, Levski. You could say, the door's in Levski, you could say, oh, I'm here a lot. So at some point he starts smart, he knows that you're there, so he's going to open. Just
you mean like a, but I get what you're saying is kind of pretty much like an artificial intelligence to a degree, like a learning, like if it was like the Terminator, it's just a cybernetic learning computer. You know what I mean? The idea is that. No, but I'm just thinking it's like I was trying to do my impression of
for your ship,
living exoskeleton. Like I can't do it,
exactly.
But you know, it's
for your ship. That's easy, obviously,
learning
because you're in that ship.
Repetition.
It's your ship all the time, so you could do it manually. But
I think that's too clever. I think it's too clever.
No, to be honest, I think
it's a nice idea. It's a nice idea.
I think more of what Madness is in terms of like, the certain doors, like your internal doors, which are just, there's no reason why you wouldn't want it. If you're going to walk up to it, there's no reason why you wouldn't want it to open. You know, you're not just going to stand and go, this is a fucking nice door inside here. You know, you just want the doors that are dividing rooms to open, whereas the like you said, your ship ones, definitely you don't want them just to keep opening up every time you walk past.
No.
But I mean, there's always the option.
I don't mind
the whole
lock button option. Yeah, I don't mind having. The way I look at it is like you have the option on all doors on ships to have on, lock, open, whatever. Because at the end of the day, if you're being breached by pirates, you're going to want to lock your fucking doors to slow people down. However, generally there should be like a setting as the pilot kind of thing. You can kind of set all doors to open, and then you can just.
But you can do that already, right? You can lock them from your pilots.
You can lock them from the thing, yeah, but it doesn't. I think it's like to do with like who's the person setting up the. It's not really the ship that I have a problem with. It's more the bases and moving around the bases that I have a problem with, that kind of mechanic, like going up and down lifts and just the general. It just needs a bit more work, finessing, and I'm sure they're all over it. So we'll watch it. But I agree with Miz. The thing I'm more interested in what you said rather than the fucking doors is what you were saying about grouping, jumping together. Because at the end of the day, we have this situation where we come into Daemar, and I want to go to the arc mining, which is on the other effing side of the planet every fucking time. And, and I just want to know exactly where it is. Okay, I can see it from my Moby Glass. It's on that side of the planet. I want to go to OM1 or whatever it is, OM2, OM3, OM2, OM1, jump around the planet, and then boom, I'm there. That's just want to path it out, done. I agree 100%. That should just be a thing that you can press, and it'll just go jump, and it'll go jump to the next one, jump to the next one, and then you can get out your ship as well. You can get out your ship and do stuff.
Well, I wasn't saying it should. I wasn't saying it should automatically jump for you. I just meant that it should automatically highlight.
Jump for me as well.
That's just lazy.
I don't know whether they would ever. I mean, I suppose they could. I mean, that would be quite. That is one option, but I meant more, at least on first level, is just terms of it would automatically know that your next set destination is, so that you don't have to keep going back to the map and set in your next destination.
Well, no, think about it. Like, if you
it's a good one, but how did you come to that thought? If I find it interesting, which will jump automatically for you.
I was thinking of Star Trek Discovery. No, if anyone's seen Star Trek Discovery, there's a bit where he's the planner, he's the guy, and he does all the jumps around the. I don't want to spoilers for anyone.
No.
He does jumps all around the ship to make it do whatever it does, and he has control. He has to do like 120 jumps, all simultaneously, and he programs it. And in my head, I was thinking if you could kind of program that into the computer, the nav computer, to make these jumps around the planet for you, so you don't have to physically.
So what you're going to do? You're going to turn that on, and you're going to do the dishes, basically. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. You can just go hang out with your friends at the back. You can put it. It's like autopilot, basically. It's just like having the ability to set it up to do.
Just get a co-pilot.
if you want to. The whole point is I want it to do both.
I don't agree with him a lot, but he's right here.
Or get a co-pilot.
He's got a co-pilot.
Pay him well, so when you want to get off and stretch your legs, they have to go in and fly. You know.
I don't know. I
think that's the beauty of the multiplayer, multi-role ship kind of thing, Matty. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? Again, it's first time today.
I
think that's the joy.
It's all about the multi-crew.
I noticed it when I was playing with drones last week. So much joy, you know. You immediately divide roles automatically. That's what we did, you know. Or you do this, you do that, and it's so natural and so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful.
I think when the ship navigation thing comes in rather than your mobi-glass, that might be more of an option. So someone may be able to jump on the radar and actually pick your jump points rather than you having to plot every single one as well. Which would be quite nice.
Yeah, the crewman needs to be able to do things as well, because like I've noticed in the co-pilots that you can actually request for landing, but it doesn't actually do anything. It says it does, but then it doesn't do it for the pilot. The pilot has to do it themselves. But
who requests for landing these days? Just plonk it down where you like.
I'm just trying to state what you're saying. Yes, the co-pilot stuff needs to be added in.
Find a spot in Levski, just plant it down. Don't worry if it's blocking a couple of trucks out the way.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Okay, here's my next thing with Levski.
How did you feel?
They need better signs. Lost, confused?
No. How did you feel? And this is for me a very special moment. You're probably going to say I'm fucking crazy. How did you feel when that door opened up when you requested landing and you went down and you thought, wow.
I didn't know how to do that. I just
wow.
Got lost.
I haven't done that yet because every time I've been to Levski, which I've only managed to get. I've only managed to get there a couple of times, and both times it's been on the dark when it's in the dark side, so I can't see shit. And so I've ended up landing in the middle of, I think, where the vehicle bay is or something. I gave up trying to find a place to land, so I just plunked it down anyway.
No, we went down the proper way, and there was a guy with, how do you call these? Macaracha. You know, mwah.
Mwah. Look at this.
I tell you, man. Listen, so good, man. It's just the feeling.
I'll have to go there, and I haven't been there yet.
And you stand in that elevator, and you stand in that elevator, and you look outside, and you know that all these rocks, help me out.
Asteroids.
That these asteroids are there. These damn asteroids are. This is weird. These asteroids are there, you know, in the sky. I love it, man. I was totally amazed. These little things, really amazed by all this, man. I'm excited. Got even more excited.
Okay, so I went to it twice. So I've been to it. Well, actually, I've been to it 3 times, but we won't count the third time.
You haven't been there with me. That is
first time I got lost. I didn't know what I was. I didn't know. First time I didn't know what I was. Actually, 3 times. First time I jumped out of my ship trying to fall into the big hole, and failed, but landed next to it and survived. There's a video clip of that. It's done the rounds. Then second time I arrived, but I landed my ship, and I didn't know where I was. I got lost. I was running around outside, and then I suffocated to death. Then the third time was that by this time I realized that you had to do no, I just ran out of oxygen because I didn't know where I was going. The third time I actually managed to know the thing that you said, like opening the thing and landing the thing and
request a landing.
Like it was sickly cool. Don't get me wrong, it was amazingly cool. I mean, Levski is cool. The frames are terrible, but it was cool. But then I got lost.
Was good. I
got lost inside.
Well, me and Drone, we looked.
I couldn't know where I was. I was there for half an hour. People in chat saw probably some of these people are actually laughing their asses out for me because I was literally.
It's not that big.
For ages.
It's not that big.
I didn't know how to spot a ship. I got lost. I didn't read. I was down in the dungeon forever.
Listen. So your ship stays at the landing pad you landed unless someone requests another ship. And so we came back to the same fucking landing pad. The ship was still there with the 2 dragonflies in the back. I swear. It was like I had something more than, it was so good, man. I really enjoyed it for the short time because obviously at some point you get the 30,007 error.
3007.
For the time that we were in there, the potential, man. I'm really excited. They really outdone themselves. You know, I've been critting in the past about things. I think they really outdone themselves, and we're in for a treat.
I think you're right, and there's also, if you remember Madness, it was that, I think, not the Levski part, but when we finally got the Dragonfly in the back of the Cutlass, and I think the server crashed, and we came back in again, and he respawned the Cutlass, and I was thinking, oh, well, we're not going to be able to get the Dragonfly in now, because you're going to have to wait for it. And then he went in the back, and he's like, it's fucking there! The Dragonfly's still there!
How excited can you get?
Oh my god! That's what I'm saying, the excitement of the fact that the ship was still there after respawning it and rejoining the server was just awesome. It was really good.
You know, we wanted persistence, we're getting persistence.
I've never had the luck of getting a Dragonfly in the back of a vehicle yet. In the back of a ship.
Yeah, it's. I've not flown it myself. I've let other people do that task, and I've watched them from a distance.
I mean, when you're on the Dragonfly, it has that green ring around it. So I'm hoping that they're going to put that system where it automatically lands in there when you are landing.
That'll be better if it's like a
landing,
like a scene.
Why does it make me think of Keeping Up Appearances when you say I don't drive myself? You remember this TV series, Keeping Up Appearances?
Yeah.
Okay, residents.
It would be safer if I didn't drive myself. Ask anybody when I'm trying to put a Dragonfly in the back of the ship. Mac, I ran him over and killed him.
This is all right with land vehicles. Give him in a spaceship, I get a bit more worried. But actually, I'm quite happy to let Ms. drive the land vehicles.
Yeah. I still haven't driven the bigger, what's it called? The AtV
Rover.
The Rover. Drones doesn't like the Rover, so he's like, Bram, we're not going to take the Rover.
No,
I want to drive that thing, man.
It's good.
I want to drive that thing.
Dude, you're more than welcome to jump on with me. I've got one. We can bust up the Aquila. We can get you to drive the Rover onto the Aquila.
I'm very busy with work at the moment, which is a great thing. You know, don't get me wrong. And thank you, Twitch community, for all the love that I'm getting for it. Yeah, we need to find some time to play somewhere this week.
I always get bugged out in the Rover.
We should do it.
Like everyone takes too long to get in it, so then the vehicle despawns, and then I'm just stuck, like sat in this weird position.
Little tip for you: move it first, and then let everybody get in it.
Yeah,
it won't despawn.
Do that next time.
Very good tip. If you try to get vehicles in the back of ships, take off first.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be harder with a Rover, obviously, but with a Dragonfly,
just float the Rover. What you could do is get the ship off the edge of the landing pad and try and fly the Rover into the back as it drops down.
Stick it in the back of an Argo and then stick it in the back of the No, that's not going to work. But if you for all the floating vehicles, let's call it that way, it's easier if it's off the pad.
Yeah,
it works really well.
No, I'm the vehicle inside vehicle. I think it's actually one of the things most people want and enjoy it. Right from like this small ground vehicle inside a Cutlass up to obviously the capital ships that we're all seeing, where people are being able to fly ships into the capital ships and park in them and having like mobile bases and things like that.
Can I share another exciting moment with you guys?
Go for it. Sol's happy for a change. This is good.
No, I'm always happy. Don't get me wrong, but. Banu Merchantman, have you seen the new art for the marketplace? Am I going too far ahead now?
No, I think we did it a little bit last week, but you can go for it. We saw there wasn't much new artwork, so go for it.
No. So you know my main ship is going to be the Banu Merchantman. I'm in love with it.
We did actually say that it would have been good to have you on last week because then there was the Banu
my Banu happiness. Well, you know what it is, guys, and I'm not good with these sales because I still have a lot of ships that I would really want to have. You know, Genesis Starliner, that sort of crazy weird stuff, which I like. So I really had to pinch myself not to sell the Merchantman because I still have the old price on it, so I can only upgrade it to get the price
value. Yeah.
And I was like, I want to buy all these things, and then afterwards, when I saw the video from the Banu Merchantman, I was like, I'm so glad I did not smelt this thing because it's going to be such a great ship. You know, I think for trading and I spent some money. I upgraded my Saber to a Terrapin. I'm sorry, Madness. No more dogfighting, man.
The Saber, by the way, is looking like it's actually better than the Super Hornet, by the way, at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, I like
quite nice.
I think for the Terrapin, money making wise, is going to be great. You know, data selling, that sort of stuff. But also as a command and control ship, you know, it's going to be a great fun little thing to do next to the Banu Merchantman. But the Banu, oh man, they had some good marketplace. You know, it's beautiful, man. It's going to be awesome.
There was nothing there, Saul. It was blank as nothing. I saw no marketplace. I just saw a big open space. That's all I saw.
No, have you seen the right picture?
There was a bazaar. So he said it basically. They said it was going to be tiers, like 3 tiers or something like that. So the middle tier will have marketplace or different shops.
They showed a nice kind of shiny image, didn't they? Like with all the bits of it.
It was concept art. It wasn't the actual inside of it. It was concept art of
it did look really beautiful.
like having bazaar. They said there would be different shops.
You know what I mean?
It kind of let people imagine and dream about what they're going to do, and I can see it now. Sol kind of went really excited and stamped his feet like yay when he saw that.
Yeah, his shisha pipe shop.
It's going to be such a great thing that you have that. What Misc says, you have the entrance hallway, then you go up, you have the bazaar area where everyone can buy, sell, etc. Then 1 floor up, I think you have the VIP area that looks out over the cargo space. And then above that, you have living quarters and the whole, private space. And for me, that is going to be a confirmation of what I really want. That was exactly what I envisioned. And, the concepts sometimes change, which is not bad. It happens, Chris.
It's
to change things. But this is really what I had in mind. It's going to be a ship where I can live on. I don't need land grab. I don't need land space. I don't need 4x4s. I don't need 8x8s. I land wherever the hell I want. I sell my wares and I get the fuck out again. And that's going to be a really.
No, I'm definitely a big fan of a ship that you can live on for sure.
Do you think the Emergent will be like you have AI that run the shops and you decide what sells in the shops?
I think so.
Or do you think it would be more that if I want to be somebody who sells product, I come to you and say, "Can I rent one of your stores out?"
I think it will be. I think if you look at it. From a computer programming perspective, I think it would be certain vendors, and you can maybe decide. You can come to me and say, "Bram, I want this sold. Can you take this to a different planet and see, or take this where you can get the best price for it?" And then I can say, for example, merchant number 3, merchant number 6, or whatever. You try and sell this. This is the mint price. This is the max price. We want to get the max price out of it, and maybe in a it is Jan's system or whatever. It sells well. I come back and bring it back to you or something. I don't know how. I'm not very good in but I think that would work.
I could see it potentially being both. If they can get the technology there, then I think there's no reason why they couldn't let you. Like, obviously, if they can do the technology, if it's too difficult, they won't. But like to let you hire out a shop, and because other games have done it where you load up your goods, set the price, and then a computer AI actually sells it. So there's someone else is the shop front. You don't literally stand there and sell it.
You have to
so if other games have done it, I'm hoping that there's that it would be nice if they can do it in this. You hire like a shop from you, and then you drop your stuff in that you want to sell, and then that trader sells it for you, and you just
and the banner owner gets a percentage or something.
Well, you might set the percentage that he gets from it or whatever, or depends if he does that or trades it.
Buyer will be paying a rent to use that space, so effectively,
could be as well.
You'll be taking that rent.
There'll be like a contract, between us.
For certain items, you want to obviously for high quality items or high value items, you want to take them into that VIP room and do negotiation with them. Or I could say I take Bio on my ship. I have a guy in some system. He cannot come here. Let's me and Bio go to him. Because otherwise that VIP, there must be a usage for that VIP room as well, man. So you know what I mean? Would the VIP room otherwise be there?
I'm not. The only reason is just... I just think that it's like better to... I get what you're saying, and I think that's a kind of a further... I'd like them to just keep it simple for now and to get it to work just for the person that owns the Banu ship. And have NPCs running. Because I think getting other people to start renting spaces and start selling shit through your Banu merchantments just sounds like it's a whole level of complication that they could probably avoid right now.
Yeah, we're not saying that they're going to do it straight away. It's going to be
it's not. Nothing's going to happen right now because it's gone right the way back to concept. So
no, exactly. So if you're theory crafting, anyway. That could be a thing.
Something for your show, Bio. We'll let you have that one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
We're not doing specific ships for a while.
It sounds a bit, but in terms of, I'd rather more talk about the actual, the fact that the Banu, mechanics. We know the mechanics of the Banu in terms of the size of the hallways, which I thought was really interesting. They're making them really tall because obviously you've got to get Vandal.
Makes sense.
They're the only ones that can trade with the Vandal. Mm-hmm. So and we were saying this before, for me, what's interesting is I wonder if your reputation will be a boost, so that we said this other thing, like you potentially be able to trade the Vandal, or you won't get attacked by the Vandal.
That would be good though, because that would create a real speciality. Because if there's only 10 of the 100 people that can trade with the Vandal, people will come to those people and say, "Oh, Sol, you have a good relationship with the Vandal. I want to sell. Vandal are giving me big money for this item. Do you want to go to Vandal and sell this?" Yeah. I think that would make trading a real speciality, like fighting or like.
Better start learning Vandal.
I know Vandal, man.
But and it'd be a question if would the Vandal be comfortable to trade with you, being a UEE person that owns a Banu merchant.
But I'm not necessarily a UEE person. We are not necessarily UEE persons, are we, Magnus?
Well, would you have to do a kind of like sub like pretend, like hit a hollow button and turn yourself into a Banu and pretend to be a Banu, engaging with
I reckon
a Vandal. Do you know what I mean? So that you don't physically appear as a human, you appear as a Banu, alien race and Banu, in order to get that trade.
Like that. It depends on what it depends on what races depend on how they see you. So if they see that you're supporting by selling all this stuff, you're going to be then supporting the UEE like military, then they're not going to like you. But if you're going to be one of these traders out there that don't care who you sell things to and who you buy things from, so you're like a representative in a way to every kind of human race or alien race out there, they wouldn't. I think they would be the kind of the
as
they
a
wouldn't mind
trading owner. I will not be. That's how I see myself. If I had the perfect vision, I would say I will not be affiliated with UEE necessarily.
That's what I'm trying. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. You'll be your own entity.
I will be my own entity, and I will trade with UEE. I will trade with pirates. I trade wherever I get the fucking best deal. Wall Street. Fuck that. Wolf of Wall Street, man. I'll sell you that horse and make you think it's free. I don't care who you are or what you are. You know what I mean? So I would really want to operate in between the laws, not necessarily against the law, not necessarily with the law, but in the gray area of the law. I wouldn't want to say I am UEE. I am Sol. I am
Sol.
I am everywhere.
I'm Groot.
You know what I mean? You really want to. That's really what I would think is really cool. If I had if I could go to Vandal and say, "Oh, he's a human, but we trust him because he made us good deals in the past. He has a reputation of being a good dealer. We leave him alone." Oh, that's a UEE guy. We shoot him. You know what I mean? But,
see, I get what you're saying, but I think it goes against the idea of the Vandal hate humans. With whatever the war situation with Squadron 42, they hate us ultimately. So I can't imagine them wanting to necessarily trade unless. I'm kind of countering myself here a little bit, but I'm going to go with the first kind of line of stuff. Let's just say that Vandal don't trade with you, but like I said, but you could create a tense moment of creating gameplay mechanics where you have to hide your identity to the Vandal.
What's this movie with the blue people? What's this?
If you fuck up though, so look, imagine if you fucked up the trade deal and suddenly whatever that you're doing to mask you, and then all of a sudden you've got 12 fucking crazy Vandal on board your ship looking at you going, oh shit, we're dealing now with a fucking human. Imagine the gameplay, that mechanic that would kind of cause trying to get out quickly.
But there might be
fun tension.
They might be doing with the Banu, like as Star Wars brought one by law. If you're going to go by law state, that the Vandal might see that the fact that the Banu trust him in one of their ships.
Or
that's what I'm saying. It increases your rep.
People in your marketplace, the people in your bazaar are. Your crew are going to be Banu, so you will never be in contact because you're in the upper floors.
Yeah,
so,
you send your lackey out.
One. But how are the blue? What's the movie with the blue people called? With the tails that stick in Avatar. They didn't like humans. They got friendly with each other eventually. You know what I mean? So there will be a shift in and they don't trust all the humans. They only trust certain humans. You know what I mean? So it's like.
So you want an Avatar Vandal to trade with the Vandal, basically, is what you're saying?
No.
So you want to go into a tank,
comparison.
He's trying to say that himself.
That'd be cool though.
He's trying to say yes, humans. Vandal might hate humans. Him himself being human might be able to actually make friendship with the Vandal. That's
that was my second one.
Reputation wise,
you could possibly get to a situation where your reputation's so good you might be able to trade with
trade
certain Vandal.
They've kind of hinted before. There's going to be alien races who are pirates as well. So there's going to be Vandal pirates.
There will be Vandal that hit Vandal maybe, and that still want to trade with me. You know,
there's going to be pirates all around every single race.
And this is set, as far as I'm aware, this is set after the war between the UEE and the Vandal, right? Depending on whoever won it. So
theory crafting 101, just a little bit.
I don't want to make too cruel. I don't want to make too cruel comparisons, but we had wars in the past, and we still talk to those people, do we? You know what I mean? It's not necessarily the people that made the war at that point are not necessarily the people that came after it, or the children, or whatever. Does not mean that they are also bad people because they were from the same type of people that made the war before. You know, things change over time. You know what I mean?
We'll see. So
I think it's good.
It's an interesting. Right? It's certainly interesting. I'll be interested to see what they do. But I'm glad you like the Banu. I mean, for me personally, I love
the Banu. I don't know.
I didn't see enough of it. I didn't see enough of it still to make me kind of go, that's a gameplay that I want to play. Does that make sense? I didn't look at it going, I want to play that gameplay. That just
I don't think it will be for everyone. I do not think it will be for everyone, obviously, you know. But I think it's. I am super excited for it. I'm super excited.
Good. It
requires some roleplay, definitely.
Next up, there was the mention of the other thing that's been going around a while, which is the selling of the land. Did you want to bother discussing that, or you got no opinions?
Do you know what? Can we come back to the land thing? Because I wanted to talk about the fact that Star Citizen's just generated now $172 million.
That's linked to selling the land.
Like the whole land thing. The whole land thing. People just took that so wrong.
Right, okay, let's do the land thing. Go on then. Let's do the land thing. You guys start, and then I will wade in with my view.
Do you do so? I think it's good to let's bounce off each other here, Bio. Do you think it's too expensive?
I think I do think the land is expensive.
Really?
It depends on what's the dollar like, how they're going to transfer it into in-game currency at some point.
It's
like
a 4x4 plot of land or an 8x8 plot of land.
Like, but
imagine how much money you can make depending on where it is, obviously.
Yeah, true.
Mining or agriculture or whatever, you know.
I think
a plot of land is going to make you ping. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like when you say it that way, the money could be fine at the value, but no one knows the value of what they're trying to say our money is to the game yet, because they haven't tried figuring all that.
We're buying ships for 600 quid. I don't think you should be moaning about a piece of land for 60 quid or 400 quid or whatever it was. You know, it's like, I think it's a nice way of interacting with it. And I think it's going, and this UEE space, right? It's not anywhere.
It's only UEE. Yeah.
So I think for people that really want to get into, and then the consolidated Outland Pioneer comes into play. You know, that's where this whole gameplay comes into.
Yeah.
This is going to be.
But then really you can build anyway.
You don't be a nomad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't have to have one of these. You can build anywhere. But within UEE space, it's ideal to have one of these because it kind of it sends signals off to the force
security. Yeah.
The force.
I find it really interesting. I've not bought anything because I'm going for that nomad. I'm going for that nomad gameplay, and I would like to have a hangar in a big city, for example. I don't necessarily need a plot. I just want a hangar somewhere where I can park my BMM or my Terrapin, you know, or a place to call home. But I don't necessarily need a 4x4 land. I would be happy with an apartment in the city that we've seen or something like that, you know. I would still be really excited if I had a place where I could store my Banner Merchantman where the door is open. I go in, I have a little place where I can chill out with my friends. I don't know if they speak about that lately. Similar way to Levski.
Not really.
That would be amazing. I'm straying off from
the thing with building your own outposts. You're plonking the buildings down. I think they want to do it. It's when it was at Citizencon, someone talked to the people that were doing the outposts, and they said that they kind of want to do it, but having an underground base or at least a landing pad, it needs to be crafted because it goes into the land. Which obviously in Levski they make that. But for you to just plonk it anywhere on your piece of land starts changing the landscape. So
no, I don't necessarily mean a piece of land. Maybe in a big city where you have
like a port,
a bit like
sort of
ED,
thing.
For example. It's very stupid. But you
they've said
you go down in a lift. You have 4 floors where 4 different people can live. 4th floor.
I mean, they have said that You like the hangars that were in Grim Hex, the ones at the back that you can fly into, and that they're not working at the moment, but I think that is the plan to get those to work. So, but they're not going to be yours, so you're not going to claim that one on the top left. But what you do is you might fly in that one in the top left, and as soon as the doors close, that becomes an instance, and then the next person can fly in the top left one, and it'll be their hangar.
That's what I mean.
But,
that would be great.
Yeah,
because then you will have what I miss at the moment, and I noticed it yesterday when I was playing 3.0. What I miss at the moment is that I can go to a planet, land down, and go into my hangar. You see what I mean? I miss the connection between persistence at the moment and hangar. That's what I really would love to see. I don't know. It's probably pretty hard, it's probably pretty hard to get that integrated. But there's points that I just want to, for example, with you or Miz or Madness, we say, oh, just done a mission. We've been fucking about a bit. Let's go home. Let's, I want to show you my hangar. See what I got in my hangar. I miss those times because there was a time that we could invite friends into hangars. I don't know if that was very early days.
I don't remember that.
I don't think they ever got into the hangars.
I guarantee it that's going to come. They're going to want to do like a Grand Theft Auto style where you can invite your mates into your apartment. They can invite your mates onto your banner. You can invite your mates. The reality is this is a multi, MMO game. They're going to make you have your mates do it. This is not. That's not. I guarantee that's going to happen.
It's a when.
It's just when. For me, let's go back to the land. Let's go back to the land topic of conversation because, like, for me, I was very.
That conversation wasn't good.
That was fine, but I'm moving back to the topic. The topic was land, so
you're right,
and that's absolutely fine. I think for me, land. My first response on it was interested. Then, as I thought about it, my anger grew. My emotions took over, and I was very hated it. I didn't like it. It felt like pay to win. Didn't like the fact that the price of it. I didn't like all my emotions are the same as what a lot of people were venting. Not a fan of it. I don't understand it. I was like, why the fuck are they doing it now? We haven't even got planets yet and they're selling land. It felt like a money grab. I was really, really hated it. And then I went into a third stage, the cool period, where Madness cools down and has a little bit of a think about this.
And you actually
5 stages of madness.
The 5 stages of madness, indeed.
50 shades of madness.
Exactly. And then I thought about it and I said, okay, let's analyze it. How does this actually have an impact on the game? Let's break it down. Is it pay to win? Well, the game hasn't got a win mechanism, so there is no pay to win because the game is just a constant. There is no win, there's no lose, there's nothing. It's just play the game the way you want to play it. So because it's not like a linear kind of game mechanic, so there is no character development. There's just buying shit. So it's not really pay to win in that sense. What are you going to potentially do with the land? You got to build shit on it. So you're going to, it's not going to be something you can do too much with initially. You're just going to have a plot of land in the game, So I kind of initially was like, oh, that doesn't really bother me then. And then I was like, and we're going to be able to buy it in the game anyway. And this is the first iteration of it. So,
and they did say with that,
I didn't care after that.
They did say with buying it in game as well, they're not going to release the this whole buying, the whole land claiming stuff. They're not releasing that until that people in the game have made enough money to be able to buy them as well. So I think generally this is not going to come out until beta anyways.
Yeah, and that's my biggest grumble with it still. Why the fuck have they done it now?
Those were some of the questions I had. So I never thought it was pay to win because it doesn't make sense. It's not. I mean, to me, it was an odd thing to kind of to just sit there and buy land. It reminds me of like now you can buy a gift for someone which is a piece of the moon, and now I'm thinking shit, now we can even buy someone a piece of the moon in fucking Star Citizen. It's just fucking crazy. Oh, here you go, I bought you a piece of the moon.
I never actually thought of it that way.
One of those certificates that you print out and you wrap it up to like
but it has 480,000 other names as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you fucking give it to the in-laws. I've got this wonderful present for you. It's a piece of fucking the moon.
And you so would never have to tell it, would you? We'd have
that was that was kind of my first thought on it, and so I'm not. But like, you don't have to buy anything like anything in this game. You don't have to fucking buy it. So I'm not angry at it for doing it. I'm not overly happy with it. But I think that was one of my bigger questions: is why now? Like, I know we've got the Pioneer, but that's irrelevant. Why now? Yeah. Like, is the mechanic here soon? Are we going to be able to use it soon and build these outposts? Or
I think it's very relevant.
Can we buy land to mine? The way I was looking at it is maybe because we've got mining potentially coming in.
But you don't need to buy land to mine, so what's the point?
But then with those, it would
resources on buildings.
It will secure that mine deposit as yours. So
no,
if
it doesn't.
tries...
It secures that area as yours. It doesn't stop someone else mining it. And then on top of that note, like in terms of having UE defense, how quick do you think these defense is going to get to you?
Yeah, they've already said that, ropey, defending.
Because this has always been one of my concerns in the whole PvP in the safe zones. So like people saying, if you don't want PvP, just stick to the safer zones. But how fast is the UE going to get to anywhere on any of these zones? So not just on land, but if you're in a safe zone and someone like Madness thinks I'm just going to blow you up because I'm bored, like he said the other time, like are they going to get there in time to stop him doing that to you? Probably not.
No.
I think
unless they got drone deposits all over, they might do that. Like futuristic
I think it ties in with the Pioneer though.
What, like Dr. Drone's positions all over? Sorry. Some reason that just came over.
Just grenades everywhere. Yeah.
I'll catch a grenade for you. Well,
no, I don't have a problem with the land being
beautiful,
sold. To be honest,
that was beautiful.
If people want to buy it, then they can buy a piece of the moon for their loved one for Christmas. It's fine.
Do you think?
You go for it, bro.
Do you think, like, obviously these? Do you think they're going to constantly keep up these land sales going now, or do you think they're going to remove them on the 11th?
Because I know, yeah.
Because if that's the case, if somebody has bought one of these now, they could sell that on the black market for more because they're going to sell like crazy.
I want to get paid. I want to be given the land for free. I need to be given this land for free because I think we're doing them a service. I said this last week. We are doing them a service. We are actually providing them with.
At least give me a home.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I think it should be free. The Squadron 42.
Give me a cardboard box at least.
We talked about this, didn't we, a couple of podcasts ago? Then it would be nice if you played the Squadron 42 at the end. You got your little homestead with a little bit of land. That's what we was kind of hoping.
I hope they make that a real thing. I really do. I really hope that would definitely alleviate. They won't say it obviously because then that will probably stop people spending money on land because they'll be like, oh well, we're getting it free. Squadron 42, but for me, it just
but then it wouldn't because people buy Squadron 42 to play the game. So either way, they're going to get money from it.
I really don't. Me and Miz, I think, are in agreement. I don't get the timing on it. It feels like a money grab for no. I don't understand it.
Well, it is a money grab because you're just selling plots of land, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because the more money that's going into the game, if people want to buy it, then that's good for me.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're a business. They've got to make money. So
for me personally, I think they would be silly not now they've done it to take it away at the end. I think they should just keep it on because it can be a constant source of money. If it's there, someone that decides later on that they want to buy it, they can buy it, and it's a source of revenue for them now. Really,
if it was necessarily a money grab, they would make the limited ships unlimited. You know what I mean? If they wanted money grab instead of 1,000 890 jumps, they would put 4,000 up.
Well,
they'll sell within 5 minutes anyway.
They've kind of done that. I mean, the 890 jump is no longer limited. Let's be honest. I don't know how many versions of the 800 are now available to buy. It's no longer limited. It's out there, and lots of people have it. It's lots of ships like that.
Idris P, Idris M. There's only always a separate. They sell within 5 minutes. Don't get me wrong. You can't get on the website before it's
smaller numbers. There's definitely small numbers.
Smaller numbers.
They're not short. Yeah, but they're not short. If they wanted to make money, they still can. It's not. It's not a money grab in the fact that they need the money. It's not that because you can just see how much they've just made in this sale, as Madness said, hundreds. It's nothing to do with that. It's not like they're running out of money. It's just, but it's another way for them to make money, which is always nice to secure more money. That's what they want to do. But I personally just think the timing was. I don't see the point, and it's bad. Especially when 3.0 is not out. People aren't happy with that. But I suppose they'd already planned this, you see, in advance to sell this land. And I didn't like the way they classified it. To me, that was just a little irky thing. It's like you see these two blank things which you knew were going to be ships, and then everyone was going, oh, what's this third ship going to be? And then it's like, it's land. And I think that sparked a lot of people. It's like, what the oh, wow. They built this drama up for a classified piece of land. Really? It didn't need it. But
I think there's justification in my opinion in questioning is it I always think there's nothing wrong with questioning pay to win. I just think you have to understand you got to change the wording because this isn't a pay to win game. You just have to kind of figure out, readjust the what we actually paying for. Is it worth what we're paying for at the end of the day? Is it worth that development cost for them right now? Maybe it always is. I don't know. Is it, is it like we were saying, is it the right time for this? I firmly, with Miz, and I think we both agree, at the moment, just what we've seen, no, until we get planets. If they give us planets like in 3.1, I would be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. We've got planets now and we can land and we can actually give us farming quickly. I mean, if I have farming by the end of the year and I've got a plot of land, I'll be thinking, yeah, okay, this is fucking worth it. Do you know what I mean? It's worth it. But right now, I have no idea when farming is. Farming's towards the latter part of all the patch notes, as far as I'm aware. In terms of the major ones, like 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. I think farming comes in either 3.4. Am I right in 3.4, guys? I can't tell. I can't remember.
Thanks for the raid, Mr. Ubbernerd. Very much appreciate it. I've tried to turn the night bot. It's because we're on a different channel. I'm using an automatic bot. I've turned it off, hopefully, so it shouldn't ban you, but just be careful if it does. I'm trying to fix it and turn it off as it goes along. I've turned so many different options off on Nightbot. I've never used it before, and it's just a pain in the ass, to be honest. I've only got it there for 3 commands. It would be easier just to flicking copy and paste 3 commands in chat. But yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate the raid.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's land. So that's interesting to hear kind of everyone's kind of perspective on that and stuff.
There was one other thing I wanted to go on that, which is not necessarily pay to win, but just in terms of this is one of the arguments people were with, like pay to win, pay to advantage, however you want to look at it. But so obviously you can get resources and people are going to claim different places to get their mining set up and everything else. Do you think that things are going to change when it goes from, say, like beta to live? Like, if you say that you knew that there was this one point in yellow that's got a really good mine or lots of ore, is that going to change when? Is it randomly generated, or is it going to be the exact same spot once this goes to live? Because then that would give people an advantage. You go, well, I know I'm definitely going for that spot as soon as it goes live, because I know that's where all the metal is, where you don't have to go and hunt to find it and scan it.
You
know, because if you do everything in beta and find out where everything is and nothing changes when it goes to live, you've got an advantage that way, I suppose.
True.
Is it still cancelling the links?
People will start living together in colonies.
Yeah.
No, just get rid of it. How do you just get rid of Nightbot?
It's okay. I don't know about Nightbot. I've never used Nightbot. Because I'm not cheap.
It's not to do with cheap. It's just to use it web-based, because we got to use it when we're when we're streaming from the show. So
there are no plans to Star Citizen. So where do people mine then? Well, we're on asteroids.
What's the first thing you're going to do when 3.0 comes out? Download it.
So you can't mine on moons then?
Indeed. You can mine on. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't know. But the mining mechanic is yet to be shown to us. In its fully fledged kind of form. They still got to get the bloody UI and Mobiglass to work properly. So I'm let's get that done first, and then.
Well, they had it working, didn't they? They had the Mobiglass working, and then it just kind of went.
I don't think it's ever worked that well. It's still a
no,
bit,
like I said on the 1, 2, or 3 patches back when it was really good, the Mobiglass worked then.
Okay.
Patience, my friends. Patience.
Patience.
It will all come.
I want to go talk about the Titan suits, if that's okay.
Yes.
It's in the notes, because I want to talk about this. Is quite new, and I want to talk about the Titan suit. So, have you ever?
Oh, yeah, that image was released.
You guys give me a ring when it's done. I'll come back.
The Titan suits.
I was going to constantly walk around.
I want to hear what people's thoughts on, because I was just looking at the Titan suits, getting rather moist, shall we say?
I have no interest in it at all, to be honest.
I'm a massive Metal Gear. I'm a massive Metal Gear Rex. I'm a massive Metal Gear fan. I love my mecha. I've always loved my mecha since I was a kid.
If consulting for me, I'm good.
I am just like, as soon as I saw this, I was just like, yes, and more of it, please. I was like, hell to the yeah. So I'm hoping that we'll see. I hope they give us more versions than just the military one. I've said this before. I want to see a civilian option for loading cargo and things like that.
That's where my interest comes in.
But when I saw this, I was super excited by it. I would love. Do you know what I would love to see? Is to see the scale of that next to a Vandal, a physical Vandal standing up next to it.
Yeah, like maybe you need to have those in the Banu to be able to stop them from killing you. Imagine those in security.
Yeah, exactly. Security guard standing next to you, right?
But you can see the person in the middle of the suit, and the Vandal are meant to be what, 8? Is it 8 foot, something like that? Vandal. So that's going to be very similar to height to a Vandal, I think. Maybe a little bit taller.
I'll have Gandalf standing in front of my ship door saying, "Thou shalt not pass."
You shall not.
But they were saying did any of you actually watch the My Radar interview?
No. Actually loading up. It does shambles, exactly. That's why I know that's why.
I saw the image and that was it.
Yeah. I'm just...
Yeah, so basically I think that what they're saying is even on this one is you can take the arms off and change it for like cargo lifting and things like that, not just weaponizing it. So I think it's going to be... I mean, we all know it was coming. We all know they're working on it. That looks pretty cool. I'm liking the look of that suit so far. Be interesting. How do you think you're going to get in and out of it? Do you think it's going to kind of open up and jump in it, or slide in from the top?
I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit of the kind of, the mecha-suits that I like from Pacific Rim, or the whole ones that I grew up as a kid. You sit in the middle, and the idea is that your arms kind of control it, and you're well protected in the center, as it were. And
it's just a body enhancement than anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like that. I'm hoping they go with that kind of styling.
It kind of links in with what we were talking about a few weeks back with the whole picking up like heavier cargo and things like that, which we said we wouldn't be able to physically do. So having something like that would be able to help us load up the ships with a lot heavier crates.
It would make a lot of sense if it did a similar type of thing. I'm thinking District 9, the exosuit in District 9 as well. So it has it's very much like that kind of styling. I'm hoping that as well. You it sits down at the back, and you get in the back. You wouldn't get in the front because obviously you'd want to put a lot of armaments in the front. So it wouldn't really. I'll be surprised if it opened up at the front. I mean, it could do. District 9.
The way the knees are bent like that, I wonder if that's what it is. It kind of
crunches down.
So you can see where the legs are. There's like the knee. What you would say of the knee of the mech. It's the suit where you stand is that top section, and then bottom legs are kind of joined on the back. So it looks like you would climb in on the back and walk into it.
The knees go down, and then it goes down. It crunches down to its knees, and you would climb in the back. We don't know. I mean, it might. So it goes
like floor level. That's what it looks like to me. Well, yeah, I suppose front. Well,
you could do the front as well, but I think part of me feels like you would.
You'd have to back into it then, which would be weirder. Which is why people walk into something. Yeah, anyway, either way, but to me it's good. It's nice to finally see a little bit of concept on it, because there's an element of whether it'd be like a mech warrior type of mech, which is like a big hulking machine that walks. Whereas, like you said, this looks to me a little bit more like an exosuit, which I think suits it a little bit more.
Yeah, but I would say it's kind of like if a tank was standing on if you put the tank standing upright type of thing, it's that kind of scale. Maybe like a small building height, 2 stories,
what?
Maybe 12 feet.
This 12 suit,
feet 12 feet, 15
what,
feet.
This suit,
feet? Yeah.
You want about this picture that's in front of you now? Can you not see the human standing in it? It's about 2 feet more than the human in it. It's not the size of 2 buildings.
Let's have a look. They make everything bigger.
So, well, the way it looks at it is not showing that your arms go through. Then, okay.
No.
So, okay. Oh, so this. Oh no. Okay, this is tiny then.
All right, the orange is
it's tiny.
Oh, the harm. I thought that was just highlighting. I just realized that is the human. I thought that was just highlighting.
No, the red thing is like a human driving it, like a little. He's in there with his little joysticks moving it around.
Oh, so then that's Vandal height then. That's Vandal height.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's about the size. That's what I was saying. 8 foot. That's about the size of a Vandal. That's what... So you can sucker punch a Vandal with it.
I thought they might make it a bit bigger.
Well, this is one. I think maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did make it bigger, and that was the one they said they were having problems with it getting indoors and corridors and all
could be
stuff.
But even this is going to struggle inside the ship because everything's made human height. So this will only be able to walk around a Banu merchantman. That's it.
Yeah, the only one will be the Banu, and maybe.
It depends, by the looks of things. If you look the way.
So cool.
The kind of the legs are. It looks like the top part will be able to slide down slightly on the bottom legs to make the. That's what it just looks like.
Sorry, I just read what Vixton said. It was funny.
Thanks, buddy. Well, I've had a few drinks. And I'm not.
He's got the smarts, but yeah.
Can you imagine, like, if obviously they make it so variants for this combat. Jumping out of a cutlass, out the side of a cutlass in one of these into a
from atmosphere, out of atmosphere into atmosphere. It'd be cool.
That's
Titanfall.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. That'd be absolutely awesome.
I don't know.
So I was like, no.
I think what will this will affect as well is going to affect dropships as well. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to want to have these as dropships. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so the scale of things. I'm wondering if you can fit one of these into a Cutlass, for example.
You know what it is, Madness. I think you have a great point, and I think it's cool. You need to look at. Okay, it's not every man and his dog gonna walk around in such a thing. You want to make it.
It will be if it's got oxygen.
Jobs.
I'd walk my dog with that.
Running out of oxygen after
I think it's good to limit it to only certain areas because of its size. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, the only thing you see is fucking mags. That's not what I'm playing the game for. It's like it turns into mag war.
How cool would it be though? Like in when you see market stalls, like big city market stalls, where you'll have big open spaces and you'll have people obviously hustling and bustling of different heights, aliens, races, and then you've got like mecha-suits moving and people moving.
Yeah, but limited within within the boundaries. I don't want to only see. You see what I mean? Only see mag suits. There needs to be some sort of a niche for it. For example,
I don't think
landing pads where they are loading the ships.
I don't think their batteries are going to be that. I don't think you'll be able to use them for long. I think their batteries will eventually kind of run out. Like you'll have to charge them up constantly.
Yeah, you need to make it in a certain way that you can't use it constantly, and that every man and his dog is walking around with it. I think that's
they'll kind of think of somewhere, and there'll probably be some areas that there'll be a no mechs restricted kind of thing. So you can't
mechs allowed. That's just mechist.
No mechs allowed.
That's mechist. Right. Can't have that sort of stuff.
Right. A mech strip club.
Big fan, anyway. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I was a big fan of it.
Less so now. He knows it's smaller, but yeah.
Modular cargo. So yeah, I'm. By the way, when people say, "Did you not read the text?" When it comes to reading words, not so much.
He looked at pretty pictures and then even didn't look at them too well either. But it's all good. It's all good. It's a mistake. We can all make mistakes.
Torpedoes.
I mean, to be fair, it's a picture of a picture, isn't it? It's not like it was a proper screenshot released. So.
No, exactly. So what else? Oh, by the way, people, do we have the questions link in here?
Question should be working. Yeah, exclamation mark question or exclamation mark Q should work.
Or just put brackets question, and then I'll just grab them and chuck them in Discord as well, and we can answer them as well as we go.
Did you want to talk about the 3 Vandal Drake ships?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about that.
Well, actually, the vote was still on. Has it finished yet? That's one thing.
It finishes on the 11th, doesn't it?
No, the 4th.
Which is winning right now?
I know nothing. right now.
Please don't say Vulture.
I haven't got the link for it now. Where's it gone?
I voted for Vulture.
No.
Yep.
Hang on. No, here it is. I have got the link for it.
No.
I just voted for the concept. I didn't really do my homework on it, and I
didn't
regret it.
He didn't read as always. Okay.
I didn't read anything.
Everyone's like,
so
I can't wait to get the Vulture to do some like very basic salvaging.
Salvage.
You need to EVA out of your ship to salvage, to drag those bits piece by piece back to your ship, then go into your ship with this piece in your hands or whatever, put it into your processor, wait for a while, then do it. You can do that. You could probably do that in another ship, store this stuff on your Cutlass, take it back to a refinery and process it there just as quick.
Yeah, I don't believe that they'll do that, Bio.
No, they've already said that. It's in the description.
That is what that ship is.
That is
madness.
They say a lot of things.
Why do we need a pint-size reclaimer while we could have a sort of capital Drake ship, which I think for its lore and usage is much more into place. So the pirates have some sort of a home base kind of.
So did you go for the Kraken as well?
I went for the big one.
Yes. Yes, that's more like it. So the Kraken is. I've been saying for so long, we need a ship that can contain other people's ships for orgs, because there's like everyone wants to play with each other, but there's people that can't afford anything more than Aurora, and the Aurora won't be able to go far. But at least with this, they can dock up with their org buddies and go to places together, and then just drop people's ships out.
I think we need a pirate size. We need a Drake. Let's go. I don't want to call it capital ship. We need a Drake command ship, which we don't. Caterpillar is great command ship. It might be modular, but it's not really a command ship. That thing drives like a fucking 18-wheeler, you know what I mean? And especially in 2.0, I tried it out. It's not fucking easy. You need something that is, I think, a bit more capital-like for Drake. I would really be. I cannot see the use of a pint-sized reclaimer. It's what Bio says. You grab a piece, you fucking pick it up, you put it in. You can do that in every fucking other ship anyway.
I don't believe they'll do that. I honestly don't believe. I know they said that.
It underneath.
I don't give. They say a lot of shit and they never do it. I don't believe it. I think they're up for. They won't do that. I think it will get a tractor beam, and I think it will work much better. It'll be a mini reclaimer. Honestly, I don't think they'll stick to that. I firmly don't believe it.
I don't know. I
think you're wrong, Madness.
Madness. You realise that you've chosen the wrong thing, and it's fine that you're getting a bit defensive and you want to think logically. But shut up.
They all lie. CIG's lying to us. They will make it. They like lots of things. At the end of the day, if something's not working with the way and it seems a bit crappy, they'll just go, no, this is not good. We need to stick something else on it. Stick a tractor beam on it. Okay, cool. We'll put a tractor beam. Done.
I don't know.
No, it didn't say it wasn't going to necessarily have a tractor beam, but the salvage mechanic is you getting out and doing it.
Yeah, and then you've got to carry it back.
I don't mind a little bit of that, though, because I just think of what's the animation movie Planet AE, I think it is, where he's kind of at the beginning. You get the really cool movies from the soundtrack from the 90s, and he's salvaging against the wreck ship, and then he gets his piece, and he kind of scoots back to his.
You can do that in a Cutlass, right?
Scoots back to his vehicle.
You can do that in a Cutlass, right, or in a Caterpillar. So
the only thing the Vulture gives you is that you're able to process things, but in a smaller quantities. You're just easier to take all the stuff you salvage and take it back to a station and there's process it there. This is what I found funny when people kind of like.
No love, Titan A, thank you. And I told you I've had a few drinks, guys. You have to bear with me.
And then.
You basically you have some sort of
Cutlass tractor beam. Is it really? Oh my god!
You have listen. You have a Cutlass equivalent with how do you call these paper bins where you put a piece of paper in and.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So what you're saying is I've definitely made a mistake here.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone but people like that, I suppose, but that's fine. But
we've been seduced by the idea. We've been seduced by the idea of a mini reclaimer, not really done our homework.
I think that's pretty much what it is. Yes. People just saw. Really, it was described maybe not the best, and people just saw mini salvage because there is an argument that that's what a lot of people want. These big ships are expensive, and having a smaller version so that you can do it a bit like the mine. People saw it like the Prospector, a little mining ship.
The
same thing. If you saw that as a mini reclaimer that goes in and just chunks stuff up like mini salvage, that would work.
Have you seen the size difference? Little miner. Fucking Orion, you know what I mean? It's like
now the Orion's doubled in size as well. Then exactly. But that's what I'm saying. People wanted a small thing because people, although it's a multiplayer thing, people do want to feel that they can do something while they're solo. And jumping from little wreck to wreck in your little solo ship is very appealing to people.
Ooh, Sherman, which one did you want to pick then? Because he's even saying people recalled the movie Office Space too much and jumped to conclusions. I want to know, would you have gone for the big one then, Sherman?
I would have gone for the Kraken. I would love to see a Drake carrier-sized ship. That would be.
I went for the middle one, but only because there's a lot of expensive ships at the moment. I mean, it's not saying it's not going to get done anyway. It's just the order that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Sherman went for the middle one as well.
Broadsider ship.
Corsair.
Yeah, I have to be honest. Yeah. I was one of those people that just literally went, "Oh, Vulture, cool," and that was it.
And just went clicky.
I just went after a bottle of sake. Was that?
I was like animal, and it's a another little reclaimy type of shit for salvage. It seems to make sense to me that would be what Drake people would do. So I thought they'd do, and I didn't do my homework. So yeah.
But I did like the sound.
Obviously,
with the bigger one, I did like the sound of it being not like a capital ship like some of the other ones, but actually more of the truck stop. I quite like the sound of that, and especially there's a lot of orgs that would definitely like to have that type of ship. So like a live on base that can move around. I hope that they do that for other manufacturers as well.
I'd like them to do, you know, like in Battlestar Galactica, for me, I've always felt the Drake, like I said the other week, more of a connection where you connect the ships together to create more of a floating kind of capital ship, you know, rather than, you know, individual. You can have multiple ships that connect to make the capital ship of the Drake. They could separate off into smaller ships if they needed to, but they didn't because they've been joined together for so long, type of thing.
Do you think cool. If the Vulture wins, do you think at some point they'll bring the Kraken out anyways?
Yeah,
yes,
I do.
They've already said that. This isn't. They're not going to get rid of them all. It's just this is priority development.
Yeah.
So what's going to go into the pipeline next will be the winner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So eventually they will all come out. Then.
Yeah, they're all going to. They might change things, but I think that don't worry. I think, you know, people saying, "Oh, you know, why did you vote for the Vulture? They'll bring out a mini, you know, that ship anyway." I'm like, yeah. They'll bring out the Capital One anyway. They'll bring out all of these ships anyway. Eventually, at some point, I'm hoping they'll stop bringing out ships for us to buy, and they'll all just keep them and just give them in game eventually. Because at the moment, there's too many I call them. I'm now starting to call them Gen 1 end goal ships. You know, because it's like lots of people have them. When are we going to get ships that you have to earn only in game, or will we always be able to buy them? I hope. The model is too.
Well, they said they're going to stop selling ships when it comes out, or at least when it gets to beta. I think so. I suppose then, but
yeah.
Well, didn't they mention that at Citizencon that you'll be able to buy ships in game? In one of the 3-point patches. When he was on the main stage, he said that. So.
No, I'm reading chat. Sorry, just ignore me.
But obviously, then the ships will still be for sale on the store. It's just the ones that are flight ready, will be in the game to buy there. But you won't keep them because obviously it's not fully persistent yet through patches.
I had a question, and I don't know if you guys noticed it. In previous PTU versions, we had all ships available that were hangar ready to us as well, right? In the hangar.
They've
changed that, right?
This PTU, they've selected the ships they want us to use. So normally we get access to all the ships.
Exactly.
But this time, I think to save, because could you imagine if they gave us access to Starfarers and shit like that and all the rest of it right now?
No, I mean like purely in your hangar. Because what I would like, what I liked about the previous PTUs is that I could get into the hangar and walk around in a Phoenix, in Constellation Phoenix, for example. I noticed that we can at the moment, that we only have a selection of ships that's also available for us in the persistent universe. So we could get into Cutlass Reds, Cutlass Blues. I think those things are now not in the hangar, and I like that because
I think the hangar's
just people to buy a ship.
A bit buggy at the moment as well. So
okay,
because I think people are spawning like Connies in there and they're exploding and things like that. So
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I know why people like the hangars because obviously they've got the hangar flares and stuff like that, but I'm looking forward to them removing the hangar for the time being, eventually, and just replacing it with apartments.
I like the hangar though. I like the fact that I can chill for a moment and just look around my ships that I have, you know, or the ships that are available to me at that point. I like that.
I don't mind it, but I almost feel like
just looking
without them being part of the world, I want them to be more part of. I want them to take it away and make it.
But that's you're getting into that's what I said earlier. Then you're getting closer to that integration where you can go from persistent universe to your hangar. I think that is something that requires a lot of coding, a lot of fucking work, a lot of thinking of how does Chris want it, how does CRG want it, because they still don't know really how they want it. I think I don't know if maybe in the behind the scenes they know, but as far as we know, they still really don't have a real idea how they want to go and do it.
It's definitely interesting how they're going to come up with that one, because we have got so used to this hangar system and being able to just jump in and kind of look at your ship and all the rest of it. And it's quite a privilege to be able to do that. Really, think about it.
Yeah.
It was the only thing we could do for a long time.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It is, but it's also, at some point it's got to kind of go, or just change into a different way, because it leads on to something I was talking about earlier in terms of how do you think you guys are going to be able to transverse greater distances? Do you think we'll have cloning at some point? Will we be able to send our part of us to a different solar system so that we can get access to...
I want to travel there. I want to fly there. That takes a while.
So you need
it's like fast traveling. I don't like that.
So you would rather have the experience of having to travel to a distant,
isn't that what jump gates are for?
I like that nomad existing life where I just travel around, and one day I'm there, and one day I'm there, and one day I'm there, and you can say, "Oh, Sol, shall we meet up at Daymar in 3 days?" And then I'll come there. I like that way. I don't like the fast travel idea that some games have. I like the fact that because you really miss out on games because of fast travel systems. Sometimes in the beginning you think I'm not going to use it, but at some point it's so tempting you're going to use it anyway. You know what I mean?
You do.
It's like,
well, I know from Eve they had the clone system, which was quite useful for many. Because
I thought that was just if you died. That wasn't for traveling.
No, but you ended up. Well? I ended up using it because you could set up multiple clones at different locations. So if you wanted to say,
they've brought that in a lot
today in one area, for example, in space. Instead, when I woke up in the morning, I know I could just make sure I transferred. I mean, you did have a cooldown period on your clones, but I would just, you'd make a decision and say, right, this week I'm going to use this area of space, and I could get my clone to do that or whatever travel the system.
Don't see that happening in this.
And I know. And what I was thinking is like how that will affect the way you play this game in terms of when you move from. So say you're so used to working an area, and then it'll be quite an emotional connection to say, right, I'm now going to use the jump gate and go to a new area.
Actually, use a jump gate will be a big thing, I think. Because you can't just pop back, especially if you start putting bases down.
It'll make your Peter Pans.
That is going to be an interesting thing, and I do think it's like.
Who's pulling his fence?
Having that is a good mechanic to because even now when we're starting to see this iteration of things persisting, you're getting that same thing. You if you crash out and your stuff's still somewhere else, you go, oh, crap, that's not where I left it. And especially now because you respawn back in Olisar and your ship's like I did once. I went all over the Grim Hex, landed at Grim Hex. It took my ship away, and then I crashed. And instead of spawning me at Grim Hex, it spawned me back at Olisar, and then my ship was listed at Grim Hex. So obviously that was a bug. But when that comes in and you start logging off somewhere else, that is going to impact your gameplay for the next time you log in, because you're going to be like, oh shit, I'm not going to be right back at stage 1 again. I'm going to be here in Grim Hex. So my next exploration will come from.
Don't we already have that? If you at the moment log off at Levski, you're still at Levski when you log on again, right?
If it's not buggy, but I mean, that's what happened to me. I crashed at Grim Hex and I logged back on at Olisar, so I couldn't get my ship back.
20% of the time that might work.
But I know that's buggy, but what I'm saying is that changes your gameplay, is what I'm trying to say. So when it's working, that does change your gameplay straight away. You're sitting there thinking, right. And again, if you load up a vehicle into the back of the ship, that vehicle is then gone. It's now linked to that ship.
I'd rather start at Levski than at Port Olisar at the moment. I'm going to be really honest with you. Maybe because it's new and it's all fresh, but I like that a lot more. I want to.
I mean, I've been there. I need to look at it.
I'm quite happy to spawn back at Grim Hex. It feels like I was there for months. It's my home.
Feels like home.
Yeah.
It feels weird spawning at Olisar all the time. I'm like, it's not natural to me.
I don't like Olisar either.
Hex is my home, and I want to spawn at Hex all the time. I don't really want. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to get a crime stat to constantly on there. So, but yeah, no, it's but that's
crime stat doesn't really matter at the moment, does it?
No, well, not really. I mean,
does crime stat now put you back at Olisar every time?
So. Yeah, because it just refreshes.
Not Olisar, sorry, Grim Hex now. Is it still
SPK,
SPK
would be quite cool. No one goes to SPK anymore, as far as I can tell. I haven't been there for a while.
Me and Drones were there a couple of days back. It was full of ships. Yeah, we dropped in.
Oh, cool. That's nice. That's nice to know. I was hearing that it was kind of
a ghost. As we came to SPK.
Yeah, I mean, I like spawning back at Hex, and there's a few of the old haunts that I quite enjoy. And yeah, I hear what you're saying, Levski. But the game that emotional connection to a space.
But it's kind of nice that you've got that already.
I've already attached to Hex in a way. It's like it's become kind of like a connection. So for me, when we get bigger worlds, and obviously I will form that same emotional bond, maybe with my piece of land that I have, my house, and and then all of a sudden you're going to have to go.
Piece of land.
No, I'll make it in game. There's certain things I want to do in game that I'm going to raid somebody else and steal theirs. That's the reality, or I'll get my own.
I think Bio is going to make cider on this piece of land.
Yeah, I'm interested to know if you can fit land next to each other, or if there'll be a limitation to, like if you can put land.
I presume you put it next to each other. I don't see why not. I mean, that's why you have a boundary on it. But
so you'll be able to have.
You could make some sort of a commune, a sect, or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Start your own revolution. Yeah.
Have 17 wives and stuff.
I don't need land for that.
Yeah.
You can do that in a banner merchantman.
Exactly. One in each shop.
Oh wow! Wow, that's good.
The fact that you two have actually already kind of got that in your mind throughout is kind of worrying me.
It's I tell you, it's
come on,
okay.
come on now.
Flying whorehouse.
One of the, I was just about to say, come on, who hasn't thought about who hasn't owned a banner merchantman? I thought that's what I'm going to do with it.
And listen,
slave trading,
Amsterdam,
right?
and
madness. CIG pushed that idea through our throats with having that caterpillar that opened up.
Yeah, we blame CIG for that. It's CIG's
They
fault.
did it themselves, not
yeah,
we.
Of course.
We got fed that idea. Who doesn't want a caterpillar that opens up and it's like titty bar?
Nice. Okay, so some of the other ships that were mentioned
that didn't get money there.
That didn't get picked was the Starlifter and the I don't remember what the other one was called, but there was one that was going to be like a storage runner, and the third one was that was it. That was the other two, wasn't there? So, what do you think of like the Starlifter idea?
You know, when I hear Starlifter, what I think of, you remember these helicopters that could lift like a singular container in the middle. It had like just feet, and then you had the cockpit, and then it could like lift a crate in the middle, and then you could take it elsewhere. That's what I think about when I hear Starlifter.
Well, that's actually kind of how they sold it as an idea.
Why would you, when you've got the Pioneer? Would be my view on that one.
Because the Pioneer builds outposts. This is to lift. So the idea of the Starlifter, if you'd watched the video, is that it's to lift it's to move ground vehicles from space to the ground.
Yeah, and the Pioneer doesn't.
So what's that?
You can potentially move ground vehicles.
I think that's a really good thing.
No, the Pioneer is a massive ship to drop outposts, not vehicles. You're not even going to have vehicles on it.
I understand that, but what I was thinking is that you could potentially put vehicles.
Exactly what CIC. That is the helicopter I'm talking about, Sherman.
Yeah, that's what it was meant to be. Roughly. That was. I mean, these are all spitball ideas. It was not like this is what it's going to be. I think that's a great idea, though,
because we really don't have anything that could bring only a vehicle down instead of taking your whole fucking
ship down. Through atmosphere. Yeah. But one thing I thought was interesting, which they weren't planning on it, but they come around to, which is actually something we discussed a while back, and I thought would be useful, is if you haven't got a Pioneer, but you want a base, how do you get an outpost? Other than calling a Pioneer, and that's what they're saying. This thing, one idea would be so that this could actually carry a module, an outpost module. So if you ordered it, and then this thing could deliver you an outpost module, so it'd be a cheaper way of getting. Maybe it would take longer and something else, so a Pioneer would still have its benefits. But I think that was actually a better use for it, maybe, than even the lifting the vehicles, to be honest.
I mean, like I was saying, it's a caravan. I mean, I was looking at it as like a caravan. It's a caravan type of thing, but yeah, that would be fun.
Winnebago, is this Winnebago idea coming up again?
Well, no, it's the streamliner stuff.
You know, I want my Winnebago. Just give me it.
The attachments, you know, the trailer attachment type thing, you know, attached to the back of your.
I could see Misc being some sort of a traveler, you know.
You know, attaching.
Could you imagine that?
If they give me the freaking ship, I'll do it. They just haven't made the ship yet.
A caravan, you know.
Yeah.
It's a bit like what the Caterpillar is, kind of, in a way, but more in the reverse.
So. Listen, man, imagine Misc just basically like sitting on other people's land until he gets chased away.
I'll just park my Winnebago here. Thank you very much. And they're all going, get my fucking hand. And I'll be going,
like,
I've got rights. I've got rights.
It's again on my land. Get off my land.
And the UEE, you'll call your UEE defense system, and I'll be going, no, I've got my rights. I'm allowed to spot where I like. You can't stop me.
He'll be residing at the local swimming pool on the parking place. You know what I mean?
I'll be like, you've got your rights, but I've got my railgun. Get the fuck off my land.
Yeah, because that works really well when you get a load of gypsies parking out somewhere, doesn't it?
Imagine a load of gypsies in 600 eyes, you know, full of gold inside and stuff.
I'd be like, you're welcome to my land, no problem. We'll come up with a deal. No problem. What else have we got on the topic of conversation?
I mean, that mini salvager that everyone's voting for, that's exactly what they would be flying around in, because they come around and go, any iron, any scrap.
Oh, it'd be like the Steptoe and Son kind of like.
We're gonna well, we get them around here all the time. Come around and ask you for any metal, and if you say no, they still nick it out of your drive anyway.
What's the other dude called with that small yellow car? What's his name? The English.
Oh, Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, what's the dude called again?
Oh, Del Boy.
Yeah. Imagine him going. We need something like that, man. You can do that in an Argo cargo, but you can't jump. Obviously,
but that would be like a mini Banu merchant man. You open up the side and he's got like a market stall in it.
Yeah.
That's what you want. A little. Come on, you want to buy some gold watches or something?
A three-wheeler.
We got some legit cargo in the back if you want it, but don't tell anybody. It's just fallen off the back of a prospector or something. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
Boy, something that really excited me as well. Have you been? You haven't been in the shops yet, man. As in Levski, have you? Buy ship art.
Yes, I've been in. I saw it. I spoke to the guy. He had no eyes. It was like literally, it was the weirdest shit in the world. It was like that. I was just terrified of him. And then they had like everyone. I mean, it was fun to be in there. Don't get me wrong. I was kind of role playing and talking to all the staff, asking where the women were. No one could tell me if there was any women in this place. They all looked very scary and kind of like somber. We eventually found one woman. She was in, I think, Dumpster's Depot. She was in the Dumpster's Depot. Yeah, poor girl. Just like bouquet everywhere. Just all these men, just literally.
Bouquet.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it. Oh. She's been well abused, bless her. Well abused. Don't Google it. So let's just leave it at that. But no, it was good. I really liked it. The Levski shopping experience. Just I wish there was a bit more signs to help people like me get out. I found it very difficult to get out. This is one of the things I would love them to be a Moby Glass. Okay. You got me thinking about like when you come to new locations, I'd like to be able to buy a map or some sort of thing to download onto my Moby Glass.
When you go abroad and you go into when you claim your luggage, there's always like the tourist map on the side.
Yeah.
You land at Levski and you're like, boom, download Levski.
I got something for that. It's a kind of sense of direction, you prick.
No, I have a fairly good sense of direction, but I would, when it's a computer game, I seriously would like to be able to buy a map.
QR scan it, just like
Once you've been there 3 times, you know where everything is anyway, right?
Or like the old school way where you have the map already, and then it becomes unblacked out as you walk around, and then eventually the map becomes visible to you through experience.
But once you've been somewhere 3 times, so for example, where we always went, the pirate area, Grimhacks, at some point you know where you need to go to get to the elevator to get down. If you've been at Levski 3 times, you know where the fuck everything is, because it's not that super big, You have the main area in the beginning with the habit pods, you have a lift down to the market area, and you can walk around. That's it. There's nothing more there at the moment. I don't know.
My problem was like I didn't know where I came in. I didn't know where the lists were. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know how to when I spawned my ship. I didn't know where. No, I haven't been drinking. But I didn't like. It's just I always like to, it was a learning experience, and obviously that's like real life. You do have to go through that kind of learning experience.
But you have to
however, I live in a world now where if I go to a new country, I go on Google Maps. I do the route that I want to go, and I actually learn the area of where I am using Google Maps. I drop the little do down, and I actually learn roughly. So when I actually arrive in the airplane, I know, and I instantly come out, and I go.
I've been here before.
I know where to go, even though I've never been to the city myself. I know where I'm going, and
I do that around my supermarket.
The map.
They sort of done it though in Levski Madness. They sort of done it where you have the big neon signs, so it basically.
That requires madness reading, though. I mean, let's come on.
Automatic, man. I'm all about the automatic.
Unless there's pew involved, he ain't bothered.
It's just a view. I get. It's all part of the learning. It is funny getting lost, but I just was like, I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool to be able to buy a map of Levski? So you've got.
It may be something. I'm sure it'd be something they will add. Like floor maps and floor plans.
I went into a bar once, got pinched in the eyes, and I knew I was in the wrong
place. If I'm raiding, if I was raiding,
you wish you had a map, not to go there.
No, count. No, okay. Right, I'm a mercenary, or I'm a pirate, or I'm engaged in a serious bit of combat. Okay, and you have a javelin. All right, and we're going to raid your javelin.
Do we need signs for the pirates?
I'm going to learn, like anyone that's done any sort of military exercise, you are going to memorize and learn and try everything you can, the floor plans of that thing. But at the same time, you know, in reality, how useful would it be to be able to have a map of a javelin?
Madness.
So when you get on it, it shows you where you are on the javelin.
So imagine this: you are attacking a.
You see when a big arrow on a map saying, "I'm here."
Bear with bio.
Everywhere you go. Like, as I go down every corridor, there's a big arrow.
Okay.
So Madness is going to attack an Idris, and he's going to land in the bay once he shut the door open, and there's going to be a sign on the left, command room.
And yeah, look at that map. You go, wait, guys, really? I know I'm boarding you. I just need to look at this map. Give me a second. Hang on.
Right, no, but you're taking the piss, but he is right to a degree. I mean, you know, if you're going to board an Idris, you're going to want to know what the layout is, right? Yeah, so you are going to want a map of it and say, well, where the fuck? You don't just go in blind thinking, right, let's go and board this Idris. Have you been on one before? No, because the board, you're like, where's the boarding team? You know, the people on your own ship. So where's the fucking boarding team? And you go, yeah, we're kind of still stuck in cargo bay. We can't find our way out.
We don't know the exit. Where's the map going?
I don't know the yarn for exit. So we're kind of here for a little while.
We've passed the same cargo crate 3 times. I keep telling everyone.
Or please send a rescue team for the rescue team, because the rescue team is now lost. So, you know, this is true.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I just think that you're going to need to plan it. It's going to have to be well executed. It's all part of the fun. I like the idea of planning it and stuff. But I would be cool if you know, could have an ability to, you know, for me, using the Moby-Glass to having a map system that's more, at the moment we've got the Moby-Glass, it shows you the big solar system. That's fine. But I want to have one that's going to show me the minutiae, my area of space.
Well, didn't they say eventually, oh no, they might change the money, like you can zoom, like that map they plan, so you can keep zooming, and then get like up to floor level on it.
Yeah. So
that was something I've been experiencing from 3.0 that I would like to have implemented, is like a mapping system that's a bit more for the smaller scale rather than just a huge scale. So I'm sure Chris Roberts' hand is in the air going, yes.
No shit, madness. No shit, not in there
madness. Yet. We fucking know it's not in. But I need to get that. We need that as a short clip. You can just put it over my face, literally. So I just say, can we have the Chris Roberts clip, please?
Press the button and just go, no shit, it's not in yet.
What would the right? Yeah, I was thinking, what would be funny is if you could just have a bit of a laugh. You could have like signs in your Idris or your javelin saying "loot this way" to the pirates. Pirates come this way.
Or if you know Madness is going to be boarding, you just literally change your signs around.
Yeah.
How fun would it be though of having a bunch of pirates with a map, holding it the wrong way around, and everyone's shouting at each other, "You're going the wrong way! You're going the wrong way!"
Hang on a minute. Turn it around.
Just like Sea of Thieves, basically. You just like hold it up to other people. Say, look, we're here.
Oh, how funny would that be?
Did you play this weekend, Misc?
No, not this weekend.
Oh my god, can't wait, man.
Fun, isn't it?
This is going to be such a funny game, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I need to.
We're not on the Sea of Thieves.
We're not on that yet.
It's Xbox. I couldn't get.
So the other ship that they spitballed about, as Matt Sherman's talking about, is that these are just ideas. Nothing's set in stone on what they're doing. Is that basically what was quite nice about it? Is they were saying that this is how they basically come up with ship ideas and concepts. They just sit there, they spitball ideas. They go, well, what if it does it? And like you said, even within the conversation they were having with themselves, it would contradict. One would say it can do this, and everyone would say it would do that, and they go, oh, that contradicts. But they both sound cool. And so yeah, it's an interesting way of just getting ideas, a bit like we do when we talk. To just
come on the show. Feel free. Come on the show. Just get the team.
Let's do a ship spit building now. Shall we? Let's just go. Let's
have on the show with us. And we could all just have a big round table, and we could just spitball ideas. Oh, you're more than welcome, COG.
I don't think you want to
sit around the table, and we can discuss. And I think that would be quite fun. We could do it live on the stream, and we could all just sit there and discuss ships and what you guys could potentially do for the future.
What Madness is going to do is going to moan an hour about the cockpit of the.
No.
I've actually got one of the things in the doc. I've got something for Madness to moan about the cockpit in the document, but maybe we'll leave that one for this week.
No, I'm not going to moan about any of the.
I
saw that one.
You want to
get
the
600i with its struts everywhere.
No, they've learned their mistakes because I saw them. They've learned from it, and the Sabre's cockpit is one of the best cockpits in the game, without question. Fantastic cockpit.
And then they go and put the struts back in the 600i concept.
It's ISO 9001 approved by Madness. You know what I mean?
But let's look at the 600i. Where is it? The cockpit? Is it down? I think it's cockpit. Or
You mean the one with the beams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The big fat dirty struts just blocking your view. I just like, why?
That's CIG for you.
Whose idea? Just why? Come on, just give us some clear views, please.
to be fair, I completely agree with the person that posted that on Reddit and saying, "What the fuck? Who the fuck is thinking this is a good idea?" We've already commented on the javelin when they had that stupid.
Yeah, and what I liked about the Phoenix when they showed you that was the whole, they started putting open windows on the side of the Phoenix and then the window at the top. And I was thinking, that's what you want. You want to be able to view outside sometimes. And then they keep putting these.
You just think it's like, who isn't? It should be literally, you should call John or whoever it was forward. You should hold his hand, you should just come forward, and then you should put the cone of shame on his head and just send him to the corner. Okay, whoever it is, I don't know if it's John or Frank or Miller or whoever, but they should all come forward and they should have the special cone of shame in the office for the idiot that's clearly decided it's a good idea to fuck up the view for all of us.
You should get them on the show. You should get them on the show, and then
bring
we
them
just,
on.
well, like we say, yeah, you know. What?
What are you doing? I can wear the cone of shame for all the mistakes that I've done. We can be cone of shames together, brothers. It's fine.
I would be walking around with a cone of shame all fucking day, bro.
we could be cone heads all together. But no, it's a bit weird. It's a bad.
Is there a reason for it, man? Is it to not make it too easy for people? Is it maybe for a gameplay element? I don't know. It's weird.
No, it's a mistake.
It's just weird.
All I can say. It's just silly. It's like
when you go from like the prospector with just like clear glass view all around it to that, it's just like, why?
It goes against like they've. The Gladius. Oh, we're increasing the HUD visibility. We're making it so you can see more things. Great. Yeah, that makes complete sense. The prospector, like Misc just said.
Did you just say that?
Clear visibility.
Did you say that?
The Gladius, it makes sense. The improved visibility in the top of the.
I mean, even the Saber Raven's got like that. Isn't that supposed to have the? Oh no, not sorry, the Saber Raven. The new Anvil
the glass
one.
Underneath.
The bounty hunter one supposed to have the glass underneath to see through.
So you can stand
People
in
want views.
Don't worry. What we're gonna do? Slap some bars right across.
Do you know when you go to somewhere like a really nice view and then you go to take a panoramic picture and someone's standing in the way? It's kind of like that. Look at this fantastic view. Oh, get the fuck out of the way, please. And they don't
say, Miss, I'm falling in love with your beard.
It's like a constant photo bomb, isn't it?
I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play forever with this in front of my eyes. I'm forever going to play like this because
I kind of like like screen just to simulate it so you get used to it.
Just to simulate it, duel. This is the new experience. Whatever shit that
Pork,
was.
that's madness.
Just to get you into the mood for it.
Yeah, next podcast we're going to just put some bars across our screen.
80 quid this fucker cost me.
A graphics designer's best friend.
Yeah, I've gone through many of these. They break far too often.
I got extra thingies. I can basically put new.
Now they're measuring pencils.
Sorry, we're measuring pen size. But no, it's true, and it does. It's kind of weird because it is like, why? Like you've gone so many 20 steps forward, and then all of a sudden we're like getting old bad habits again. It's like, why? Surely you've learned, but you forget new people come on board and design. People moving on to other things, and things slip through the net. So it'll be picked up on as it already has been, and it will change. I guarantee it. They already changed the other stuff, so it'll change.
Can they do the freelancer while they're at it?
It will be. It will be. The freelancer, what? But I like the panoramic kind of styling.
Really?
Of that one. It's not very. Yeah, it's not very practical, but I like the styling of it.
Exactly. It's not very practical. Let's just look through a slit all day as well, then, shall we?
They could fix it by making it all glass, and then they make that like as if like in sports cars where you put that tape over the front to kind of make it look to give you the panoramic kind of the lowered kind of.
There's an easy fix for it, man.
You can see through it. Yeah, you can see through it. It's like tinted.
Put the chair up a bit. Put the seating position up a bit. That would fix that mailbox issue. So you have a bit more overview down. Because it's what Misc says. You're basically looking through a mailbox in that thing. Starfarer, Misc Freelancer. That's the only thing that is holding me back from getting my Freelancer Max back. Having that mailbox view. I think it had such a great view before. Not super,
struts aren't bad.
Like, it is now.
Prisoner not saying struts aren't bad. Struts aren't bad when they're thinnish. But what they've done on these 600i is they've it's just massive.
Swords
They're
aren't
not
bad when they're
thin
finished.
They're
strips.
right in the view. They're right in the way, aren't they?
Right?
Hmm?
I said struts aren't bad when they're Finnish.
They're Finnish.
There's better when they're Swedish.
There you go. Like that.
Love your beard, by the way,
that's
Misc.
quite big. Thank you.
I love it.
Struts aren't bad. They're just drawn that way. Indeed. Indeed, Dr. Jones.
You'll just get the.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. I'm looking at it right now on screen right now. Yeah, it's.
Are you? So am I.
Because you've got all these like side windows, and then everything's in the front. But someone's saying if you actually look at it from another angle, that strut isn't actually part of the cockpit. Like the screen, it's holding up the floating platform. So they've gone to the effort of giving you this really nice floating platform, and then putting these great big girders to hold it up.
I look at it. Do you know what I look at this? And I'm being genuinely like, you look at it and you go, well, they've got all of this beautiful clear view to the left, to the right, and your front is like a mash of a spider
I mean, you look
web.
to the left, it's fantastic. You fly your ship like that all the time. I'm liking this. This is nice. Decouple mode for the win. Just spin your ship sideways.
What's up, bro, homie? What's up, homie? Oh crap! I've smashed it instantly because I can't actually physically see anything in front of me. No, it's it just makes no sense. Like you would naturally make that whole front section beautifully clear. I mean, I don't see Star Trek fucking Enterprise bridge with shit fucking pillars in front of everything when they're trying to see anything, do they?
Why are you coming back to Star Trek all the damn time?
I always come back to Star Trek.
He loves it. He loves it.
Star Wars. The Millennium. Hang on, let's look at the Millennium Falcon. That's got a few.
It's got a few struts.
Oh, what about? Hang on.
Strut
What's a good
stuff.
comparison? Millennium Falcon. What would be a good comparison?
Just type in ships with struts.
No,
In view.
Strutting ships on the catwalk. So the Millennium Falcon's got the pillars, the struts going on it, hasn't it? It's got like a couple struts going through.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a bad design though. That was George. Bad design.
Who's George?
He's my friend. He did Star Wars.
George from the Jungle. George Lucas.
Yeah, okay. I can't really see very clearly. Right.
Anyway, moving on. We've established it's not really cool, so we're moving on.
Has this got struts?
I'm good.
Broken them?
No, they're still. Listen, these were my dad's in the 90s. That's how old these things are, man.
So just swinging them around.
I've had them for so long, and they're really. They're
there it is. There, Millennium Falcon cockpit view. All right. So would you guys find the Millennium Falcon? Here you go. If you just type in on Google the Millennium Falcon cockpit view, I have to say it's almost as bad as my council home double glazed window that I'm looking at right now. It's just a mix mash of just. It's
just a council home.
Well, I bought a council home. Yeah, it's just literally just full of like every tiny piece of window you could have because they wanted to save money. They've just slapped it together. It's like a stained glass window. That's what the Millennium Falcon looks like.
Yeah, but it's not too bad though. The struts are alright, to be honest.
What have you got?
It ain't pretty.
Miss?
That is the Vandal
Void.
Void.
No, but it's still alright.
The Vandal what?
Void.
Is that the Van? That's the Void.
Mm.
Look at that. That is so sexy.
I was trying to work out is that dome in it? Is that the cockpit at the front? Because that's got some unnecessary struts going in front of that as well.
Wow.
I am so excited
Looks
about
awesome,
the Vandal
though.
ships. I am so excited about the Vandal ships. I am like
they are looking nicer.
I mean, for me personally, I prefer alien ships over the
I can't hear the word strut anymore, though. I can't hear the word strut anymore.
Strut it, boy, strut it.
No, I'm sorry. I am literally, if I could, I will melt shit
To have the buyback tokens on Vandal ships. That's how much I'm kind of keen on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be really good. I think view wise, although and I don't want to fall back on the Merchantman again. The Merchantman is going to be interesting view wise because it has a mega big pillar in the middle of it anyway. You might sit on each side of it, but there will be view restrictions for a lot of ships at the end of the day anyway. Maybe they're trying to balance it out a bit that's what I meant earlier, Maybe they're trying to balance it out a bit to give some other ships that idea as well. I don't know. Tough one,
What's up, Astro?
What's up? For anyone that's just joined us, by the way, guys, we're using the Britizencon channel. This will be the channel that when Britizencon, the event show that was last year that I won the dogfighting, I am the champ on. Just throwing it out there. That show next year, this is the channel that Miz and Super Matt Brothers will be streaming live from. So if you haven't followed, hit the follow button. You'll be able to watch it and you'll be able to know when it goes. So there you go. Quick advertisement for anyone that's just jumped in.
Yeah. Exclamation mark Brit in chat, and you can find it.
Exclamation chat. I mean Brit, and yeah, there.
I don't like change. You should not be supporting Star Citizen if you don't like change.
I am American.
Chris Roberts loves change.
So, but yeah, I'm so the Vandal ships, the Blade. I can't wait to see the Blade. I can't wait to see the new Glaive rework. I can't wait to see the new Scythe. When the rework, I mean, I've been hyping about it. It's one of those. It's just I know they're holding back for Squadron 42. I know it's there. I can imagine they're probably sat there right now. Sherman has probably been seeing it every day, and he's like, "Oh my god, Madison is going to lose his shit," because it's so good. I am literally.
We'll see some of this stuff then in the holiday live stream because it's all going to be about Squadron 42. So
I hope
will they sneak some of these in?
I'm like this going.
I think the holiday live show is just literally focused on Squadron 42.
Yeah. Well, I hope they don't go too crazy. A really good trailer and some more close-ups of the Vandal doing some crazy shit, and then some voice acting from Mark Hamill and Gary Oldman, and maybe. I mean, if they go crazy, we might even get a vertical slice, but I don't think so.
Can I tell you my theory?
Okay, go for it. Gonna go live.
No.
Squadron 42 released holiday live stream. Boom.
I hope we have I hope we have a Terrapin in 3.0 live. I have a strange feeling. Something inside me says that thing is much further ready than we think it is for some reason. And I base that on the fact that I remember the CitizenCon video where this dude was walking towards the Terrapin and Chris was like, no. It's like interesting. I would love to see some more ship. I hope that they come with a surprise and say, boys, these couple of ships are ready. These couple of ships are much further into, and I like it how Lando has been doing it in the episodes where he was really explaining this is where the ships are. That's really cool, man. That's what I missed that's what we've been moaning about in the last 4 months of Addicted Podcast, and now they're really doing it. Really giving us not really perfect details, but a lot more detail. We are getting a lot more detail than we used to get. Don't you agree, Madness?
Yeah.
I think we are getting a lot. I mean, they were nice in that respect. I still felt like there was a lot they didn't tell us. There was loads of ships like variants and stuff like that. A lot of people are wondering about.
And I think they might have a couple of surprises. I hope they have. That's my dream. Don't. I'm not working for CIG just to make.
Don't crush his dream now.
Don't crush my dream, but Sherman probably will. Sherman is going to crush my dream in a second. But I think that I hope we get a couple of surprises where they say, "Boys, here you go," and we're all like.
The surprise will be 3.0 being released is about as big as you're going to get. I think is 3.0 going to live, but
I don't know. I mean, they do love to leave us with something special, and something better than going away. Nothing better than going away on a holiday and getting everybody excited. I think a big Squadron 42 trailer with loads of action and seeing Mark Hamill, especially with Star Wars. Think about it. Star Wars is right around the corner. Nothing better. There's no better timing to have something with Mark Hamill for Squadron 42. It will really help raise the profile because people will be spamming the shit out of Star Wars. So, good timing to get the tags and stuff going on YouTube as well. So, for Star Citizen. So, yeah, I am very excited, and like I said, I'm just really excited to see what the Vandal ships look like. So,
I think we'll have a couple of surprises, Lancer-wise, maybe, Miss.
You think Freelancer? I don't know, but they said that they're
first
not
surprise. First surprise will be it starting on time. Second, no, I'm just kidding.
It's never starting on time.
Yeah. No, I was disappointed in some of not hearing some of the the other ships, not new ships.
Sherman was going to crush my dreams. Sherman, why you do this to me?
He's crushing your dreams. It's horrid.
He's already.
Oh, look, here we go. Look,
yeah, no, I know it's a dream, Sol, but I think it's going to stay as a dream. And like I said, I think their aim is to get 3.0 out. And if they can get that out for the holidays, that's what they really want. That's what they really want. And they're not going to start, especially with it being unstable and having issues at the moment, the last thing they're going to want to do is just magically chuck a couple of ships at it and and see how they work and how much they crash the servers. It's just, unfortunately, not going to happen.
That's what we need. That's what, no.
No, what we'll get is hopefully stable enough to get 3.0 out really properly.
I don't care what they. I mean, they can either blow me away or they can keep it very tight and small. You know, like I said before, like when Star Wars would first drop a trailer, sometimes all you had was Darth Vader's, tiny and small. All you'd have is Darth Vader's voice, and that would be enough to get people wet. You know what I mean? Just and then ta-da, Star Wars done. And that was because they'd already established. And someone did say validly, Star Wars had already established itself by then. So we kind of already know a little bit about Squadron 42. We've seen a few trailers already with Gary Oldman and stuff. So, you know, they could kind of they could show us some really cool little sneaky little bits. And then.
And there's a pillow with Gary
How
Oldman on it.
I'm
a fan.
With Squadron 42, they've already said that you're going to be able to play it many different ways and there'll be many different endings. How are you guys going to play it?
Squadron 42.
Yeah, good.
Well, you're gonna be like a badass. What are you talking? Like fucking like a hardcore badass, man. I'm wrecking it. Because
I think they're trying to use. I think they're trying to use that in a where the location you would spawn, you would start off in Star Citizen
in a garbage can.
I would be wearing a cowboy outfit, driving a pink fucking dragonfly. I tell you that.
I think what'll happen is I'll be a badass like Squadron 42, but then when I go live, I'll probably be, you know, like a bum, like, you know, street urchin style kind of character. You know, he's like life's, you know, telling old war stories. You know, miserable, unhappy, beating the world has got him down. No, not me. Yeah, no, was a high flyer, but now
I was cool. Now I'm miserable.
Now I'm miserable. You know, not happy. You know, just kind of
like you backed your country and they never backed you up.
I don't know. Madness makes me think of one of those people that really thinks he's up there and he's like badass, and then everyone just looks at him like, you know, he rolls up in like his tiny little scooter or something, and he's I'm badass, and everyone's just like, no,
leather jacket,
really, go home,
pretend.
Go home.
Exactly.
Here's your sweetie bag, Madness. Now go home to your mummy.
Okay.
Like, yes, you are a badass.
It's all in my head. I just kind of imagine these scenarios, and then I just try and fake it till I make it. Basically,
he does the same in D&D. He acts like he's a badass, and he's like, no.
Yeah. It's that's the only move I have is to pretend, and then eventually, you know,
he's actually a sweet little guy.
Sweet little guy.
The picture on the screen now is something from Hurston. It was just like a sneak peek concept thing. But the main thing is just look at the size of it. Like that in the corner there is the Starfarer, which just looks absolutely tiny on that. So it's
the Death Star. That's what it is.
The Death Star. Right, okay. Death Star confirmed.
It's the full Death Star. The Death Star confirmed. Or it could be the pyramid from Blade Runner. You know, if you think about it in terms of that's what I'm thinking. It could be a huge, giant type of pyramid type of building on Hurston, and that's your kind of the docking thing, which would be sick.
It does look pretty cool. Does look good.
And if you think about the angle of that does look like a pyramid. You know, it does. It's going on for the chamfer, and
could just be the roof,
which is okay.
Which is pyramid shape. Most roofs are like that.
Yeah, no, but he's trying to say the whole thing's a pyramid, but it may not be.
Could be. I mean, I'm going for a pyramid.
I'm going to tell you that thing in the middle. That's where the newspaper comes through, man.
It's a letterbox. That Starfarer is actually just a little model. That's actually just a letterbox. Someone's letterbox in the outpost.
References to Blade Runner and the latest Hawk advertisements. They are fans of Blade Runner, and Blade Runner has one of the most iconic pyramid type of buildings with the way that the doors or the windows open and everything, and the roof comes up. That will be in this game, I guarantee you. A form of that type of, and also think about it. The Carrack has the armor, the way that the armor kind of slides down over the front of the kind of the cockpit and stuff. Same with the Terrapins, kind of slightly goes. They will do a building like that. I guarantee it, 100%. It will be in.
Listen, I'm a fan of Amsterdam. Can we get like some streets with red lights and stuff?
Yeah, they'll have that in there as well.
Just put your ships along put your ships along the street or your vehicles on the street and put your brakes on. There you go. You got some red lights.
That's how he does it down in Dorset.
And then you can be standing at the end of your vehicle.
The vehicle's bouncing up and down.
All that dogging.
Jesus Christ, boys!
Wow.
Right.
By the way, guys, if you want to ask questions, exclamation question, or you can put brackets. I will try and grab anyone that puts a question, and I will chuck it in. Priority goes to people that fill out, obviously, the form, but I will grab them, chuck them in Discord, as long as people don't fill up Discord with other shit.
And the other last sneak peek I was going to show, because this is all from the monthly report, is this one, which something that a load of people are waiting for.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun. You're going to have to wait a bit longer.
We gotta
Are
wait.
you hosting today, Miss?
Yes.
Miz is hosting.
I've constantly had the idea that Madness was hosting this for some reason.
Yeah, it's alright.
No.
He talks too much, man.
He does. And it's the new website. And they said they want this ready for live release, so that's going to be there. 3.0 live. So.
Oh, look at that. 4 buttons. How about the game?
And play alpha in the corner.
And how to play.
Where is the shop button, or is that going to be one big button in the middle?
that just pops up over the top every few seconds. You know, when those are adverts, we try and close it.
It's Clifford. It's Clifford, aka Mikus, with the money.
Good job, boys.
It looks nice. Hopefully, it's as practical as it looks. Yeah,
looks really good.
If do you know what scares me? If they've managed to condense the current web page into that, that just does tell me how fucking awful the current web page is.
I can't. Yeah, you're right though. I can't see the shop on there. I don't know. I suppose it's going to come under something like.
Hopefully, you don't have to kind of click through things and find things and.
And how much is going to go? They clearly think that we're no longer going to have electronic access. So we're no longer going to need to buy anything. So that's
buying ships in 3.0. That's it. They're stopping. You see it here now. They're stopping selling ships in 3.0.
Yep. All gone.
But no, it's much needed. It'd be interesting to see the how to play thing. How the tutorials will be, whether that's any good or not. But I mean, it's nice that they obviously seem to. They've said that they want it for 3.0 live, so it must be pretty close to being done. Can't see Spectrum in there either.
No, I'm surprised actually they didn't have Spectrum, but maybe they're on one of those little buttons or something.
Maybe this is the landing page. I think this looks like a landing page for new players. As soon as you log into this, you will probably have more options in the top.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
It'll take you back to the old website.
What will happen is you'll log into this, and it'll say Flash needs updating. That's what's going to happen. And you'll be left there going, oh, fuck.
No, but on a positive note, though, as a landing page for new players, Madness, this is great.
It looks much cleaner. Much cleaner.
No, I do agree. You are probably right on that. It's going to be.
If we're trying to get new people into the game, and I remember Drones knows the guy, so I can't remember his name. We showed someone Star Citizen, and he on a stream went to the website, and you could see his face just go like, where the fuck do I need to go? I think this is a lot better and a lot new player friendly. You know how to play the universe, about the game. 3 words: pow, pow, pow. It's there. Media, pow, play, click. That's it.
Figures about media 4.
I would love to be in the meeting because part of me kind of like these type of meetings where you strip something back to its core essence is really exciting, especially in the creative industries and like Soul and you know what I'm talking about. It's this whole kind of challenge of like we've got this very complicated thing here which has become very small as possible. How do we strip all of that away and go, right, what do we really need? What is it that we need?
Because it's hard to let go on things when you've already got.
Yeah, there's that emotional. And you need outside perspective. You need to constantly be putting it in front of people who've never touched it before. To kind of get that sense of that night, like me walking around Levski. You know what I mean? Never doing anything, doing all the wrong things and all the stupid things, and
that's just wherever you go.
If you want to get that foolproof, kind of system, you want to ask those really idiots out there like me.
Well, there we go. He said it live. He agrees now. He's an idiot.
100%.
He's not an idiot. He's a very smart guy.
He's more of an idiot.
I think it's getting used to things. Miz is a smart guy. And let's not start about bio. I don't want to do this on stream.
Love you, so love you, man. I love you too,
man. No, but I think. Where did you get that one from, Miss?
The monthly report.
Monthly report.
You see, I'm missing things already.
Yeah, there's so
I think
much
from a creative point of view, what you say, man, is you really need to funnel and say, okay, we start with all this information, and we're going to bring it down to a point where we have everything that we want. We still create the message that we want, but it's all nice and compact and
it's not easy.
Subcategories.
Not
it's
easy.
Like, it's weird.
Keeping things really simple can be one of the hardest things to do.
It is
you
really
know,
hard.
if you think of like all this, like everything, even from the very basics of like sporting activities and stuff, you know, like when you see people do like activities and stuff, you go, it's the ability to make something look like you and I, average Joes, could go and do it. I always immediately go, they've succeeded, because if I think that I can maybe go and do that, they've made something that's really complicated look really simple, like D&D that me and Miz has been doing, you know, like Matt Mercer and the Critical Role guys make it look really easy, and it's fucking not. It's really hard.
It's so easy. I haven't even read the rulebook yet.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's lying.
I said to Miz earlier, man, and I don't mean that in a bad way. What I think is, for some people, it's very easy to have that creative RP mind, you know what I mean, and have that natural ability to fantasize about that sort of thing. Let's call it that way, you know. But for some people, it's not that easy, you know. And that's everyone's different. Yeah. Everyone's different, you know, and
everyone is different. So we've got the redesign site. I'm not going to talk about the alien animals with you guys unless you wanted to.
No, I think we're going to move on to questions probably.
Let's do questions. Yeah, let's do questions.
So just before we do questions, obviously we'll do a quick plug for Britizencon, because that's why we're on this channel, and then we'll go over to questions. So that gives you a chance, guys. If anyone's got any questions, please either ask them in chat or !question, fill out the form, ask us, and then we'll get through them. We've got not that many at the moment, so if you've got anything that you want answered, we will blag our way through it as always. But otherwise, as we said, so the Britizencon, for those of you that are in the UK, is happening next April on the 21st. It's in Manchester, right by the airport, so it's easy for people to get to. It's also near the Foundry 42 studios, so we often get... What's that?
Are we playing the trailer video for them?
The trailer video? We could do.
Do right there, Menace.
I'm fine, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good.
Thank you for your concern, though.
It just looks like you just like...
So yeah, it's been going 3 years.
It's more.
You're right. You're going to survive this one.
Trying to do Splug. Come on, guys.
Yeah, okay. Let's concentrate on this. Come on, guys.
Right. So !Brit in chat, so you can get a link to the website as well. This is where you buy the tickets. There's a few tiers. So we got confirmed guests already. Brian Chambers is going to be there. He's been there every year so far. There's also the Bar Citizens before and after, the day before and after as well. So after the event. And Erin Roberts is going to be there as well.
Woo!
You can go to the website and find out the schedule for what's going on in the day. I think more stuff will be getting added as and when we know what panels are going to be there and things like that, because it's not completely filled out yet. Still waiting for some confirmation. And then we have the tickets here, which, so your standard ticket to get in is £30, and then they go up from different tiers, 50, just like Star Citizen. You can buy all little different entry ones, but the basic ticket will get you through the door. And as I said, so bronze tier up, or if you buy a raffle ticket on the day, I presume you can buy raffle tickets on the day, you do have a chance to win this lovely PC case here. So we showed it off earlier at the start of the stream, just for those of you that missed it earlier on. This is going to be going in the raffle and will be the prize for whoever wins the raffle, which is obviously going to be rigged and going to be me. So
John Rain is the guy, and he's done all the CIG. He's pretty much a job for life now, I think, with CIG guys.
I think he's going to be doing all the events, making all their models. Amazing. I mean, he's probably got like just back orders of just having one of those Saber Ravens being made for outside everybody's house. I'll have a few of those.
Here's a question. If you could get a model of any ship made, I know
Banu Merchantman.
The Banu Merchantman, it's not even fucking hard.
But if you could get a model right now of any ship made, you know, it doesn't
Argo Cargo.
What would you get made?
Argo Cargo.
Polaris.
Mine would be one of the Vandal ships probably, because I do like the more alien ones. So
I would want an Argo Cargo.
Cargo.
I love those little things, man.
Yeah, it's a pretty cute little thing.
Yeah. And it's nice to have it as a model in your house, I think.
Miss has gone for which type of alien one? Though you have to be specific. Which one would you go
Well,
for?
I'll probably run on the Vandal. I don't know which one
one?
that one's for. The Blade, then. Whatever.
The Blade. Good choice. Blade's pretty cool.
And you?
Very nice.
The Gladius with that wonderful cockpit.
Too much breathing into the microphone, Matty. That was loud.
I think I would go right now for the Prowler.
Oh yeah, Prowler.
I like the kind of the styling of the Prowler. Yeah, because I just love the way it looks like a kind of like a dragon on its arms and stuff. So I think I go for the Prowler. I love the styling of the Prowler and the Tavaran ships. So
like I said, you can fly mine anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
Give it a test.
When
it's in the game.
It will be a big target though, whether addicted or not.
You'll just see those little like arms where it lands though. They just snap off. And then,
I don't think
it's useless. Then it won't land.
It's just pretty. It's a pretty.
It's just going to be like the Mustang, where they've decided not to bother using those as landing gears because once they're damaged, you can't land it.
Well, so people love us, man.
When Christmas and Easter is on the same day, you're pirates, man.
Bio is in Cloud Cuckoo Land when it comes to pirating in Star Citizen. He really is. He thinks because he's going to live by some code that everyone's going to think they're all right and leave them alone.
Yeah, no. This is what I tell people. I'm going to happily kill people.
Good luck.
I can't kill that many people. They have to say I can't kill many people at the moment. 3.0 is rubbish.
No, you can't kill people at the moment. No.
It's not very good. Next question.
So that wasn't a question. That was just talking about. Britizencon. So yeah.
I've drunk a bit too much.
Everybody, get your tickets. Make sure you go. Help fund it. So this is, like I said, it is a player run. It's a community based event run by the community. So, and you can come and meet all of us because we'll all be there as well.
Meet all of
and
us.
like I said, Madness and myself will be hosting the live stream. You can come on, you can jump on the live stream, say hello to your mum.
Super Mac Brothers and himself.
You mean Super Mac Brothers? I will be.
Did I say Mac?
Yeah,
no,
you said Madness.
Madness.
Oh, okay.
Madness,
well,
guys.
To be honest, if Mac's anything like last time, Madness will probably take his place. So, you never know.
I will pop in and say hello. I think that's probably about as much as it'll go. I'll be trying to win for 2 years so I can say back to back, baby. That's what I'm going to be doing. And you all can all suffer for another year. That would be fantastic.
Listen, the only thing that you could smell in that venue is your ego.
It will be hilarious.
The only thing is, like, I had problems with my joystick when I was down there.
Oh God, don't start that.
Listen, if you have problems with your joystick, you need to see a doctor. That's what you need to do.
You need to get some lubricant. Yeah.
Don't say
Wow.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, guys,
This one's bugging. Anyway. Yeah.
Next question.
This question.
So let's go to the questions now. So yeah, and if you haven't followed this channel, make sure you follow it because this is where the live stream will be coming from, and that's the whole point of us doing this show on this channel today. Okay, so otherwise I'll be on my channel, and you could all be saying hello to me there. But no,
you could all be sat there on Miz's channel helping him get partnered,
get my numbers up because at the moment they're pretty bad. So okay, so let's go to questions.
In front of a video for about 3 hours.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I'm going to try.
Questions.
Okay, so question numero uno is from Matt White Paint Job. And he asks everybody, when do you think Squadron 42 will come out or testing part?
So, can I just say something? So, everyone's done with the when is 3.0 coming question. Now it's a question.
Yeah, now it's question 42.
When is Squadron 42 coming out? We don't fucking know. We're not fucking oracles.
No, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, you want to give it a go?
Give it a go.
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
I think Squadron 42 will be out this time next year.
Yeah, I'd go with that. But I will say that I don't think we're going to get a testing phase of it because it's not multiplayer, so they don't need to test it. So I think it's going to stick with QA. I don't think you're going to see it like we get Star Citizen.
I agree with
and that part of what this. Even with Eva Carter, you can see the leaks that we're getting from there. Not massively, but we're getting leaks from it, and I think they just won't risk having Squadron 42 go to a PTU on anyone because it'll just you'll get too many leaks.
Well, you know what I mean? It's what you say. It's not multiplayer. So if they just test it locally and it's all
they don't need to.
Then they don't need to. It's interesting. I find it brave that you put a date on it, man.
Well, me and Chris were best friends.
No, I'm with him on that date. I'm with him on that date.
Did he rig the dogfighting championship?
Are we doing this as a? We're gonna do this as a thing now, and we're gonna try and make a.
No, I mean,
what happens if we're wrong?
We all lose.
We all wrong anyway.
We can give
nothing.
I did this before with the load of the other dudes. I think I'm happy. Kuro won that one. I'm happy to give. I think it was like $10 donation to each individual person's stream.
Did you ever give him the money?
Well, I did. I gave him the money.
Yeah, I did as well. But...
I squared up. No, I'm happy to give $10 again to whoever is the most accurate on times for Squadron 42. So if you guys, I mean, we're still. I think we're a long way away. Let's come back to it next. Let's come back to it next.
Okay, so next question is from Snow. Winter is coming. When do you think Orgs 2.0 will come out?
Say that again. When will what come out?
When do you think Orgs 2.0 will come out? I mean, this is something they said ages ago. Oh, Orgs 2.0 is coming.
I just want it as soon as possible because organizations and being able to sort them out and moderating them in a better way is something that I could really do with.
It's tied more to the Spectrum now, I think.
Yeah.
And the Spectrum keeps getting... It's got its own Evocati test, so there are testers doing work on the Spectrum, and it's been getting quite a few... It's been progressing pretty well. I mean, I don't use it too much, but I've seen quite a few updates coming from Spectrum, so I don't know when, but I'm hoping, that side... I think all the website... When this new 3.0 website comes out, we may see a lot of changes that have been happening in the background that they haven't shown us yet. Pardon?
Orgs need it. I think Orgs need it, though.
Well, the sooner they can get in that, the sooner Orgs will start bonding together and actually playing the game and trying to organise themselves.
Especially
getting the titty bars going, that sort of thing. Anyone else got an opinion on that? Right. No, I'll take that as a no.
Can you tell me that
I'm going to say web page. When the web page is ready and Spectrum, it will all kind of be together as one. So at the moment, we just saw the fact they showed us the first time iteration of the web page.
I don't think we're anytime soon. If that's what you want to know, when they say they're soon, I would say we're going to have our own, which is not anytime soon.
It all depends. I would say let's see. I'm very much kind of like in terms of I want to see how the next 4 months of 2018 kind of pan out in terms of with the Delta patcher with the quarterly drops. Do you know what I mean? I want to see how that pans out. If they hit the date,
they stick to it and things like that.
If they stick to it, then I will start to grow. They'll be starting to put coins bank in the I kind of believe them.
The
bank,
madness,
you know what I mean?
Madness circle of trust. Meet the
circle of trust.
At the moment, they're outside the circle of trust.
They're fucking being shot
back into the circle of trust.
I hear a line tune somewhere in the back of my head.
Yeah, no, exactly. It will bring them back into the circle of trust for sure. But right now, no, they're way out of it. So let's wait and see. But maybe middle of next year, we might see some more movement on Spectrum and that stuff. Middle of next year.
Maybe. Okay. Next question is Matt White Paint Job again, and he asks, do you think 3.0 is the biggest, most important update, or do you think there are more important updates or will be?
Every update is important in the future.
Yeah, but he's saying like the biggest one. Do you think this is like the biggest one that pulls it together?
I think 3, for what we've had so far, yes, is one of the biggest we've had. And it's, it's bringing some of them basic game features that we need to go further on. Like the Delta Patcher, the new flight mechanics, the new the damage states, the way things are going to, like now, once you guys get to play it, you'll realize it's different to what you've done so far. It's crazy different. It's just it's beautiful at the moment. And definitely. Okay. I think I'm trying to say and get my words out.
Sol, I think he's just basically saying yes, he thinks it's the biggest patch. Sol?
I think it's the basis of obviously big things, item system 2.0, that sort of stuff. But I think there will be obviously much bigger ones. Look at mining mechanics, that sort of stuff. Those are going to be big patches as well. Depends on what you're waiting for as well. I think some people are waiting for ships that are still in the making. For them, that is going to be a big patch. Some people are waiting for mechanics. Some people are waiting for, I think it's a big step into what it's going to be, but there will be bigger ones. There will be much.
Cool. Madness.
Sorry, I was typing.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Okay. So I will forget Madness on that
next
question. And just in my opinion, that I think, although I think it's a very big patch, I think probably getting mechanics in will be a bigger patch, because we've got this which is tying stuff together and it's nice, but we're missing every mechanic that there is. Nothing does anything, and so I think honestly that will be the bigger patch. This is a nice start and a big hurdle in the right direction. I think obviously the Delta patch is a major thing, but yeah, in my opinion, I think mechanics, once we start seeing that's when you're going to really see it being more playable as a game rather than just something you can look around and look at pretty stuff.
Mecha-suits, the most important thing in the patch.
Okay. You've had your choice.
No, what you said, Miz, I agree. I think mechanics. Let's get these mechanics in game. That's what I've been asking for fucking months. Is I just want to believe, and I want to see more of the mechanics, the gameplay mechanics. That's what I want to see. The mining and all that. The cargo running properly working, and the salvaging working. I want to see the salvaging animations. I want to see, the farming and all that stuff, and the NPCs working well. NPCs, interactions, AI, subsumption at a highest level. That's what I want to see.
Can I answer Eva's question in chat there, or are you going to read that one out later?
Oh no, I'm going to grab it. We've got a few questions.
Grab it and we'll answer it in a minute.
We'll grab it. Yeah. All the people put questions brackets in chat. We will get to them. You guys will come after the. I
have a big one for that. I want to do a little bit of
it's fine.
How do you say?
Got a question? Put it in there. Okay. But I mean,
next question.
Got it. Don't worry.
Matt White Paint Job again says, "Do you think they will make Star Citizen into an operating system?"
I don't know where he got that from, what he's smoking, but you can send that dealer my way.
Just no.
Well, I mean, you might be like on a technical work, like if you were to actually look at what like an operating system is, you might be very clever and go, yeah, it ticks all these boxes possibly, but in terms of what I would consider, no, I would say no. It could be.
And Matt White Paint Job again asks, how long do you think it will take to get 2 ships in game if you only own a starter pack? That's quite a good question. I like that one.
Yeah, well, this is something I was talking about.
I was talking about this on my stream.
How quick? It depends on how much free time you have. I mean, it's very hard. There's a lot of kind of things, but let's just say an average person.
You'd probably have to go by in-game hours, wouldn't you? I suppose.
Yeah, it's all about how much hours are required, and then that would give you an ability, because then it's your personal life, your real life. If you're unemployed and have no wife, no kids, nothing, and you can dedicate your entire day and night to playing Star Citizen, probably a lot shorter than somebody who has
if you go by in-game hours, then that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's just how many hours while you're logged in and playing the game. If you do it by that's the easiest way to judge how long something takes. Because if you said 4 hours playtime, not in-game hours, playtime I mean. So if you've got like 4 hours played, whether you've done that all in literally 4 hour stint or whether you've done it over a week, it's still 4 hours playtime.
You know what I think?
Okay, I know what you mean. Okay, I know what you mean. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, in terms of then how efficient that 4 hours is as well. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's what he's asking, mate. On average, how long do you think? But again, you can. There's lots of obviously. It's just a rough thing. Like, there's obviously lots of things. Like, are you on about buying another Aurora? Are you on about I presume it means the next step upgrade from a ship. So if you start with an Aurora and you look for like the next one is like the Titan, which is like $90
a week.
Seen the game is probably by a very big percentage is supported by boning pensioners. It'll probably be very quick because they don't have anything to do all day.
I'd say 5 days, about a week's worth of gaming.
This is like, what the fuck is he on about?
What the fuck's boning pensioners got to do with it? I didn't know that was part of the setup of Star Citizen. Well,
no,
you're playing a different game to be sold.
I'd say 5 days average. I don't know, maybe 4 hours a day. So 5 of those will probably get you an Avenger upgrade, I reckon.
Do you think?
20 in-game hours?
I'd say 5 for the average and 3 for the diehard.
Yeah. I would say maybe 10.
My white paint job has a lot of
in-game hours.
We're always happy to receive questions, Matt. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And that's once you know what you're doing, because I think initially you won't know what you're doing, so you won't know what's going to make you a lot of money. So there's going to be many, many hours up front just figuring shit out. But then once you
getting out your easy
hab, it's a bit of a progression pad, man. That will like an MMO, like. You don't want the best ship on the third week. You know what I mean? You want some kind of progression pad in that as well. You see what I mean?
They might do like just the basic first lot of missions, but by the time you've got through the tutorial or something like that, so to speak, then you get a ship. Then you just don't know how long it's going to.
Your neighbors spent about $70 on this half a year ago, but you're getting it for free.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, but that's the part of it. That's just something we'd have to deal with. I mean, if people get salty about it, tough shit.
I think especially for your first upgrade, most things take like shorter at the start because obviously people want to keep them enticed and bringing them back. So I would say, like, man, it's probably about a week, which can equate to, depending on how efficient and how much you set out with just making money, like 20-hour played maybe. Like that.
I'd want it if I was building the game. I'd want the initial period of time when you play the game to be you're getting ships fairly quickly, and then as the game progresses as you go on, then the gap between the ships and the length of time maybe takes a bit longer. Do you know what I mean? To keep you kind of hooked in at the for the later stages. But initially, you want that reward system fairly quickly. You don't want to wait too long for that, because then people will just switch off the game and go, "Fuck it, I'm going to go play something else." You know what I mean? So I don't expect it to take too long to start off with, to start buying those middle, lower level ships and mid range, and then, but once you get up into like middle large ships, I think it should take a month or two. You know what I mean? Potentially of gameplay, especially capital should take a long time.
Yeah,
a long time.
I think capital ships will be only for the few eventually. You won't see a lot of those.
It should be big plan, to get those things and to run them and to look after them.
Okay, next question is from Barber, Barber, and he says, "Do you guys think CIG should sell military ships like a F7A Mark II version, or at least a civil version of it in the holiday stream? I think it would be a perfect idea after showing us some Squadron 42 footage."
I don't know. I want. Can I kick off on this one?
Go for it. You already have. Go for it.
We've obviously had a lot of fucking military ships for the last. Yeah. I'm just happy that for the recent couple of months they started doing something else than freaking fighters. You know what I mean? It's like you can buy these ships all the time anyway. The FCA is a privatized version of the Hornet, right? The F7. What do you call it?
Yeah, the F7C. I think it is.
So you can buy them anyway. I think you can buy them always, even outside anniversary sales. So. I think
you can buy that one. I think he might be talking about the Lightning, right? Is he talking about the Lightning, or is he talking about? I'm
curious.
I'll have to double check. What I don't on the Hornets. I'll need to double check on the ship variants.
But
you can buy the F7.
Yeah, fighters we've seen enough for a while. Let's focus on a bit more things that would come handy in most recent patch. Let's say PTU or things that for future patches would be really handy. I think that is it, and those will be the bigger ships. It's not going to be the cheapest ships anymore. All these niches are going to cost you money if you want to buy them.
Remind me, Miz. Sorry, what was the ship that he said? F7C. Is that what he said?
F7. No, just the F7 or something.
Well, because you've got the F7, because you've got the F7C is the current one, but
Mark
I think
II, he said, doesn't
you've got
it?
the F7C. Oh, the Mark II. Oh, the Mark II. Oh, dude, do you know what? Absolutely, yeah.
F7A Mark II. Sorry, yeah, that's the
one. I would be Mark II. Sorry, I was thinking because we've already got the new ones. Definitely, we've seen the Hawk. We see the new styling. I would love them to drop that in the Squadron 42 for sure. I don't think they will, but I would love them to do it. 100%.
Squadron 42. No, he says the anniversary stream, right? Or was it Squadron 42?
Well, he meant like because they're showing off Squadron 42.
They're showing off Squadron 42.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I would love them to do that, dude. Yeah, absolutely. I think it would
would whet the appetite. I mean, there's nothing, if they show, and it all depends on what they show. If they show us a really sweet combat scene in Squadron 42, and then they showed us, and then they said, "I know we can buy that," I think it would really get people's juices flowing. But at the moment, the combat sucks ass. So I know from them working. So
no, so a bit more positivity. Come on.
No, I'm being positive. I think it's great. I really would love them to do it. More ships the better. Is all I say.
Rolling on.
Okay.
The next question is from Matt White Paint Job. I've heard of that guy before.
Who is this, Matt?
Do you think they will let people make their own TV shows in the verse, or will they be the only ones, or would they let you access the internet in game like Twitch and YouTube? So I'm looking at getting a Reliant news van on this one. So I think. In my opinion, I think they're definitely going to let you try and do your own shows in the verse. They've already said you're going to be able to broadcast, hopefully be on like pub screens and things like that, which would be pretty cool. As for accessing the internet, I don't think so. I think what they're trying to do is tie in the Spectrum to link to all that. So everything's going to run through. That's why they even spoke about having their own Twitch type thing within the Spectrum. I don't think it's going to be...
Can you see this happening? Porn channels in Star Citizen blooming up and in need of spam filters and that sort of shit.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
No, because it's only going to display... No, I don't think they're on about displaying you in your camera on it, but as in your characters. So your characters will be filming in-game stuff. So, I mean, you can do people doing role-playing, getting jiggy with it.
I mean, I'd love to do the podcast on the verse, and like
that would be pretty cool.
Man, can I just say something?
Using VoIP and that.
What Flanders says in chat there, Flanders. The first 3 years, they were building up studios and locations. You know what I mean? It's a long damn time.
On the tools.
Don't worry about it. We've already. I mean, I'm not gonna. I want to answer questions. We've done this stuff to death, but it's very clear. The development cycle, 10 years, and it's 2-3 years to get staff and to build the buildings, and then
normally you don't even see that because people are not that open about it.
Talk to me about something a little bit different. I've discussed that a million times, and we've answered that question tons of times. Next, and he's not deserving because he's not asked. Is he put brackets in questions? No.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no.
And he gets dragged into the chat if he does as well. Right. What was the next question, Miss?
We'll leave that one for a minute.
The
next one is Pupe, and it's for Soldotcreate, and he says, when do you think mining will come out?
3.1.
Well, they said 3.1, yeah. Let's hope they...
It's jumped around so many times, isn't it?
Yeah, 3.2
it used to be 3.3, wasn't it? And then it went to 3.0, and then they couldn't get 3.0, and now it's not actually on their schedule report anyway.
I think what we want to focus on at the moment is all the things that we have now. Let's get those missions working. Let's get the build a bit more stable than it is now. And I'm happy with. And I said this. I didn't say to you, Miz, or to Madness this afternoon. I think with the content, with the space that we have now to create our own content, if that is through mission or story-led stuff in game, or that is through your own RPing. We have more than enough stuff to do for the upcoming time. I think 3.0 will give them a bit more time to do other stuff now because people will be quiet for the upcoming time. The naysayers will be a bit more quiet. And I think 2.6.3 really limited us in what we could do roleplay wise. I think we went from a grade 2 roleplay wise to a grade 20 roleplay wise at the moment because we have so much more content, so much more places, so much more vehicles. And there's much more longevity in 3.0 than there was in patches like 2.5, 2.6, that sort of things.
It's just with 3.0 now, like something I've managed to do the other day, and I'm just going to quickly go over this quickly, is like you can do certain roles already in the game, like the search and rescue. I wanted to play along with it. I wanted to see how it would work out. And basically, I ran out of fuel on my Cutlass because I was going around the whole entire moon. I crash landed. I couldn't get anything to work. So I quickly typed in chat, can someone pick me up? Someone did. We managed to sort out the coordinates. They did like a circle rotation of how far I was from a certain location where I was near. And he did a massive circle round and found me, picked me up and took me to a safe place. So that kind of gameplay is there. It's just you've got to use your noggin and think of that. And whatever you think of, you can pretty much do at the moment. You just got to find a way of doing it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the only mechanics is not paying people for that sort of thing, but you definitely can do it in a role play sense at least.
Yeah,
exactly. There's a lot of role play stuff now. There is so much potential, and it's what Bio is a good example. I did with drones. It's like, oh, we're going to do missions. Oh no, let's just load up to dragonflies in the back of this thing, and let's just go somewhere and we'll see where we end up. And I think that is it's going to create a lot more longevity, and it's going to create a lot more time, and people will go. The idea is that what's his name, the nerd, Uber nerd. Races on planets, that sort of things. You can go and do that now when it's all a bit more stable and we can
as long as I get
3-4 hours
blurted up into atmosphere.
Exactly. But when that is all stable, there is going to be a lot of stuff for us to do, even story driven by the game or driven by people.
I just went canyoning like the gorge exploring the other day, just going through and finding them, landing in them, and looking around, and it's just really cool to see.
So many nice things to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is from that Mr. Paint Job guy, and he says, "We don't understand. I'm only joking. Ask as many questions as you like, but we are clocking off in a minute. No. What will orgs do?
Eventually.
What will orgs do?
I think Bayer needs to go to bed because Sesame Street is over, right?
You can turn into a pumpkin in a minute.
I love
That's such a bad joke. What will orgs do?
Yeah.
Is he seriously asking that question?
That's such an open question.
Well, it's a good question to a certain degree. Someone did ask that in my Discord actually a little while ago. It's just like, what's the purpose? Like, if you can do things and work together on chat, whatever, like, what is it that orgs are going to do? But there's a lot, but it's long-winded, I suppose.
We're in a bubble in terms of Twitch and this kind of community, because we obviously do a lot of things through this and through the live streaming and through Discord and stuff. But there's a lot of people who don't do that at all, who still play it without anything to do with Twitch, without anything to do with this kind of networking and stuff. And so for them, the org is that ability to communicate with other people, get together, and actually, play the game together. Lots of people don't like Twitch. They don't want to be on any part of Twitch and that kind of social networking. So their social networking
an end
is
goal
through,
as well.
is
What you
the
can do
org.
with other people.
Yeah, and you can do capital ships. It enables you to be able to actually run capital ships effectively and properly. To the maximum. So, that's just one thing. Land building. Building huge bases potentially, and having like corporation in huge areas of space.
Little villages.
You can do that. We can do that through this.
Blockades of stations if you were a pirate type thing, because you wouldn't be able to do that on your own. So.
I think you can compare it with a guild in any other game. It's coming together for a common goal. I think, which is, for example, beating certain content, having fun together, having a common goal together, having common feelings together. And that's where orgs come in. It's what Madness says. For some ships, you need those orgs. For some things, to realize some things, you need organizations or corporations or whatever you culture thing.
And if you mean something else, just rephrase the question, because I think I would like to think that
we'll gladly pick that up.
It's quite obvious, but I think maybe you might have been wanting to ask something else. But okay, next question. Unless anyone wants to say anything.
Okay, next question is from the prisoner, and he asks, "What is your dream ship in the future and the role it will have in the verse?" Matt White also asked that as well.
Polaris.
Two in one.
My shipman.
I think now I own one. It's going to be the Carrack. So exploration and I think my end goal ship though is kind of modular farming, so Endeavour stuff. But that's a long way away.
You're going to be a farmer.
I want to be a farmer. Yeah, I want to play that. I played mining in Eve, so I want to do farming in this one, and combat. So I want to be a combat pilot on someone's Idris or a Javelin somewhere. I'd love to do that. I'd be happy to cruise around with people, do that part time, or meet up with people and do it. So I'm still not sure. There's so much of this game I just don't know yet. It's the honest truth. There's a few things.
Okay, next question is: do you think wheeled bikes and hover cars will be coming to Star Citizen? If I don't say who it's from, it's from Matt. Okay, just take it.
Okay. Hover car.
I mean, lots of questions.
I've been wanting hoverboards. I mean, people know that about me. I want a hoverboard. Hover cars. Well, we've kind of already got that with the X85.
Yeah.
We've already got the X85, which is kind of like a hover car, right? And we've got the Hornet. We've got the Hornet. What I'm talking about? We got the Nox and the Dragonfly. So they're kind of
this
already.
This is kind of something I was on about a little bit last week as well, in terms of why would you have wheeled vehicles when you can have vehicles that hover? Like, because you can traverse land a lot easier on something that can hover over the top of it than that rides over it. And I know we covered it a little bit, but I mean, I actually like the feel of wheeled vehicles and having them just for the sake of because I like that feeling. Like, that is a valid reason of why someone would produce something. So I do hope that we do get, because like when you see that Cyclone video that they showed you of it buzzing around and bouncing up and down on the, that looked cool. And I would definitely love a motorbike to do that. And under the same breath, I'd love to have a car that would hover. So yeah, I really do hope that that's something we see in the future.
Yeah, I'm with Miz on that one. I want both, definitely. 100%. I think it's also, you forget technology as well. Just because something gets surpassed by a new technology like hovering doesn't mean like old vinyl records. People still hold and love vinyl records. Do you know what I mean? To this day. So I just, there's no reason why you still couldn't have old school kind of wheels and hovering at the same time. So yeah, I'm with Miz on that one.
Next question. I'm not sure. Does he mean how do you think the UEC plots will work, and do you think it's going to be gameplay? Does he mean the land claims? Because we kind of answered that earlier, really.
Yeah. Let's move on. Next question.
It's just going to be land. You claim it, and then it's protected by UEC. That's
but it doesn't mean it's real great protection. You know what I mean? Don't expect them to be there to save your day instantaneously. Okay, could be some time, and they may not even arrive. It might arrive after, like most police, and be like, "So what happened here then?" They'll be like, "Well, I just got fucking robbed. That's what happened."
So next question: do you think a crane ship would be a good new ship, so you can pick cargo off of the side of hull ships and bring it back to the ground with no need for a hull to land? Well, isn't that kind of what the Argo cargo is meant to do?
I see what he means though, because the transport bays on the hull are huge,
No, I know, I get that. And we would again, another thing we did discuss a couple of weeks back in terms of how you're going to get that cargo from A to B and load it all up. So I do think it will be something that will come in. I think the Argo is meant to do that to a certain degree. Whether we'll get different kind of versions of that, probably we'll get different types of ways of doing that.
I'm going to read some of these, just unless you've got any. Are they all our friend? Because if there's anything different, I can read out a different question here.
Let me have a look.
Not that I don't mind. I like the questions, but it's nice to get a bit of variety if it's from different people as well.
Okay, let's see if we can get some more.
Because we've got. I do apologize. I forgot to capture the person's name for the first question, but the question was in a long term. Like an org, like in a long term, like org, large, like test is going to own a big part of the land. That's literally what they typed. But I don't think English is their first language. Bless them.
I think it's just saying, do you think an org will own big plots of land, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I would say yes.
Is he trying to say like they're gonna probably try and get all their hands together?
Too much to, yeah, I think that's the risk, isn't it? That's the thing that CIG probably wouldn't want, is like you start to own huge, large, very valuable areas of space, and you start to get that whole, the good, like whatever they're called, the different gangs that kind of just start to own huge, copious amounts of space together. Do you know what I mean? That's the risk. Imagine Test, for example. How many members has Test got?
15,000.
So let's just say that all 15,000 own land and put it all together, they're going to own a good,
this tiny little section of a moon somewhere because of the scale.
Yeah, somebody actually worked out the maths. I think it was it Board Gamer that worked out how much they would need to have. How many? Somebody made managed to work out the maths that if everyone in test had wanted to get if they wanted to cover a moon, they would have to buy so many land pieces each to be able to work together.
It cost them millions to cover a moon.
Yeah.
In the same way as if every citizen that's backed the game bought a plot of land, it still wouldn't cover half of one of these moons.
Yeah, and that's a moon. We haven't even got planets yet, so
yeah.
I am not worried in the slightest. Put it that way. It's just
there's a limit on how many you can buy, anyways. There's 10, isn't?
Yeah, it's just too vast. The game, no, not a problem. But yes, they will do it, and that's all the better. I would make sense to do it, in my opinion, as an org to buy land together. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Next question.
I
got one more question from Evis. I can't remember full name, but it's his question. You hear all the naysayers and Debbie Downers all the time, but you guys are all pretty well informed. And given that there are specific items you each may have concerns over, do any of you have any actual serious degree? Do you have any actual serious degree at all of the concern the program could go off the rails?
Salt said you wanted to answer this one for a start. So.
Yeah, go for it. So, do you want to answer that one?
Can you ask me again? Sorry, I was reading chat.
No, it's well. I will start. I'll go with it because I kind of
understand. Sorry.
So basically, what he's saying is that do any of us have any real concerns that the whole project of Star Citizen could just
that was the question earlier that I said.
Yeah,
and just go off the rails. Do you know what I mean?
What I think what I luckily know that 99% of us backers realize is that we're in an alpha, that we are backing a game development, and we are not developers, but I think most of us, with a couple of exceptions, know that game development takes time. Takes effort, takes a lot of dedication, and I know for sure. And obviously, we don't always agree with things. That's why I think podcasts like ourselves or other podcasts in our community are great, where we theory craft and where we disagree with things and where we have different opinions. But I think the majority of all of us of know that this thing is going to be there. This is what Chris wants. This is what our backers want, and it's going to be there. So I don't really have any concerns that they will not fulfill what they said in the first place. Obviously, not everything can be done, and things need to be changed, or things change over time. But I have no concerns that this game will be the biggest thing in gaming history at the end of the day.
I think it's healthy to have a degree of skepticism. I think it's healthy.
Of course.
It checks you. I mean, especially when you're spending money, the amount of money that this game obviously, kind of feels like you some people can feel obligated. It's like, oh my God, all my friends are doing it, and I get sucked into this whole kind of driving force of just throwing money at the game. And it's very easy to get swept up with the crowd, and I think it's very healthy to kind of like rain check and say, hang on a minute, wait, could this fail? And the reality is yes, it could. Anything can fail. Big businesses fail. Banks fail. It can do. I don't think it will do. I hope it doesn't. But I think you always have to have the reality, the real part of your brain going, yes, it could fail. Yes, it could be a game I don't want to play.
Well, we know what we're backing.
It could be really boring.
But I'm enjoying.
It's a risk.
But the point is I spoke to somebody in my stream earlier, and they were 72, and I said to him, do you worry? I asked him a question. Do you worry that you'll be dead before the game is released? And he was like, not really. And he said the same thing that I think about is at the end of the day, you enjoy the time you have now and the journey that we're on now. And that's what I enjoy.
Yes,
and I'm happy to pay the money for that. And that's enough. The
journey towards it has been great as well. We had about 4 years already, or
I'm
5 almost. We had 5 years to say, oh, CRG, I want my money back. And we didn't, you know what I mean? And there will be people that have done that said, okay, I like the direction it's going in, or I don't feel that there's always a way to get out of it. But I think in general,
I do have concerns. And I do worry about
you always take with early access or with that sort of, the way Star Citizen is doing it a bit different. But I think the journey is worth the money that I've put into it already. I've met a lot of great people. We're part of a great community, just great.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about you guys in chat and us here and everyone is like we can like Miz is always rain checking me all the fucking time with watch. You know what I mean? And that's the great thing is the beauty is that I have these guys, this world of experience and other people with their experience and my experience. And we can draw on that and come to a more educated and informed decision and a less maybe an emotional, there's nothing wrong with emotion. Everyone's scared of emotion. Be emotional, but then rain check it with facts and information. You know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with being seriously. There's nothing. I don't have a problem with people telling me, it could fail. It's like, yeah, of course it could. And anyone that says otherwise is deluded and is one of those scary people that, if they were in like at war, like I'm not afraid. I'd be like, you should fucking be afraid, buddy. I'm not going standing next to you. You know what I mean? It's like you should be terrified. That's the reality.
I disagree with you slightly. I suppose it could. It depends what you mean by foul. It could be released and be a flop if that's what you mean by foul. But
yeah,
we've already got a game that's like, okay, I know it's buggy and that, but if they really wanted to, they could, and they had to, they could chop it up and release it as a game in some form, in shape or form. I don't think it will foul in that respect. I mean, my worry, if you in about genuine concerns, is just that it could potentially take a lot longer. It's taking a while, but it's not taking a while in terms of any other game development, but it could go on and on. It could go on and on for development. That's the only thing I think is just that they're more when they add some of the features. It's like, damn, that's how are they going to even do that? But then they prove time and time again that they've got things working behind the scenes to do that. So I'm not like.
The only thing to add to that, Miz, the only thing that concerned me was Chris Roberts in the past constantly adding new stuff on. But I think have Aaron on his side, rain checking him and saying, Chris, okay, this and this. I think that is already a big step towards.
I mean, this 3.0 is a good sample of that. So they've got obviously more things, like they said they wanted to do the mining and things like that, and also what we heard at Citizencon. So if they stick to that, then I will definitely feel a lot happier in terms of they get to a point and say, right, that's it. We're not adding any more features. We're going to stop here and we're going to just get this bit done and then we're going to release it. Then we'll work on adding new features. Because in that respect, then the game can get to a point where it's good enough to be released. And then if they want to keep adding these extra things, they can be added on afterwards, after the game is released, which they know they're going to keep working on anyway, and they're going to do that. So I think this like Madness says, this next 4 months or whatever it is, when they drop to that first quarter, whether they give us this big patch and just cut out anything that doesn't make it, that's when I'll start, being happier to see that they got a little bit more control on what they're doing. Because I think this is why 3.0's got so delayed, because they keep adding more things that they want to come out with that release of that patch, whereas some of this could have been left. Some of these things didn't need to be in at the same time as all the other stuff, in my opinion, and that's why this has taken so long. We talked about it the other week, that it had a massive drought of content because of it.
I think what shook the community a bit is the period that it took, obviously, between 2.6.3 and 3.0. That's what Mez is saying, but I think they've outdone themselves, and next to that, and we see it, and I'm very positive, but I think there are so many dedicated people working there that have the same dream, and if they can keep it alive and going, it's we've only seen have we ever over the 5 years seen a dip, or have we over the 5 years that it's been going on only seen steps up? I don't know how you guys feel about that. Do you feel that it has gone down at some point, or for me it's only has gone like this?
Yeah, it's always gone up. It's just it's always just been the distance between it going up further. But then, at the end of the day, we might have not known this if they would have done with every other normal game developer does, and that's keep all this development in hush hush. And that's what people have got to realize, is that we are watching them make a game, and for the first, God knows how long, for the first 3-4 years, we watched them showing what they could do, but now they're really getting into it because they've got the tools behind them.
I mean, that's the main problem. No, we're not used to seeing a game this early on. That's why people can't grasp, and that's why this Flanders bloke is going off on one. He doesn't get what an alpha is. We're seeing this game way before any other game would show us, and that's what a lot of people can't get their head around. We're far too early in development than any other game, and plus the fact that this was built as a game studio from the ground up. We're not talking about GTA that's already done 5 games beforehand. That's already got its assets. This is working everything from the ground level up. And yeah, technically, I mean, it's the same as releasing it to us. Apart from making more money, they don't need to release it to us. They're only doing that so that we can play it. They don't have to let us have a playable version.
They don't have to.
Most game developers don't. They're working on it. And I say
this every time in my stream. For those people who are moaning about the game, find it difficult to play a game in this status, just don't play it. Just wait. Wait until it's a lot further on in development, because all you're doing is throwing salt out there on a game that's in development. It's in alpha. It's not finished.
Not even a game.
It's going to be it's going to be buggy as hell, and all you're doing is putting negative views on it when normally you don't see this kind of stuff. How do you know that like a top game that you play now was in great condition was a worse build up than Star Citizen has? How you don't know.
To my channel and grumble. We can grumble together about it. It's fine. I grumble. I'm one of those emotional people that grumbles about shit not working.
It gets so weird.
I do. I grumble about it. I think it's natural. I think the way I vent is much more extrovert in the style. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's not lagging, or what the hell, I can't play this shit.
You're terrible. You do my editing. I have to stop watching sometimes because you moan about stuff that's part of alpha, and it's just like shut the fuck up, man.
And I know, I know people have said
time ages ago. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, for the love of God, man, it's when you stop grumbling about it. And I get it. But the truth is that it's my way of venting my frustration. But deep underneath all of that venting, I get it. I just can't bottle it and kind of hold it back. Does that make sense? Like, I have to just vent it to get out.
No, no, it's like anything. It's buggy. Even though it's freeze frames, you're still playing it, and then you moan when it freeze frames. I get it. It's just something you say. It's like, oh, fucking lag. It's not that you're.
It's a reaction. It's just that quick reaction, and then after.
But then I'm like, look,
like a lot of people really quickly reacted to the whole land claims. That was crazy, the amount of people who reacted to that.
Because knee-jerk reaction, they're selling fucking lands. Like when you just get the headline of it, it's terrible. It's a terrible headline.
Yeah.
All right, I know it's when you think about it and look into depths, but the headline of that, like any newspaper that sells you that big headline,
the way they sold it was
fucking
terrible.
Selling land. It's like, oh my god, really?
I did when I first said that.
Whoa, one at a time, guys. It's like 20 people talking at the same time.
Sorry,
carry on. One at a time.
Might be the alcohol.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, one at a time. Getting excited about the land claims is fine. There we go.
Well, you have websites like IGN jumping on that shit as well immediately, But it's just sensation seekers, we call that in the Netherlands. You know what I mean? They're just trying to find something to break something down.
But that's why I think it was a bad time to release it.
You don't need to put your money down. You can wait till the game comes out. You know when you're going to buy into a Kickstarter or into an early thingy and it's been a great ride. I loved it. I've loved every moment of it. And I had a half a year off where I didn't do anything with it, but let's get sucked back into the great community again and the great people sitting here on the table and the great people here in chat. I think that's something that needs to be praised as well.
Questions. Let's get back onto questions.
Okay, next one. Have you got any more from chat? Or?
No,
anyone in the chat? Anyone on the chat?
I haven't seen any.
Okay. So Matt says these are all Matt basically, and I've closed the questions now, guys, just because we do have to actually finish today. But if you've got any more, then feel free to save them for next time. And if we don't get through all these, Matt, we'll keep them on the form and answer them as well. Okay, so just saying. Just that we could go on forever, but next time's fine as well. If quantum jump between systems will take 8 minutes, do you think some of the smaller single-seaters will be installed with the screen so you can watch stuff on the cockpit so you don't get bored?
I think it's a great idea. You should put it in as a suggestion in the Spectrum, as a game suggestion. Nothing wrong with that idea. Absolutely. I mean,
there's no mention of it, but I think that could be something potentially. Yeah.
You could you could go and watch the base radio, or you could actually then pull up the live feed
podcast
news channels.
Podcast
up, watch it, or
watch us on YouTube, or
it would be cool. I'd love that type of interaction, or even just actually being able to pull up StarTube or something. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of other great websites that I cannot mention here on, but I'll send you a PM where it's good footage on there.
For all those lonely nights.
Well, it'd be nice to kind of sometimes have a radio in your ship, because obviously you got the jukebox in your hangar. So that'd be quite cool just to have a radio in your ship you can interact with.
You can't just bring up YouTube though. It's as easy as, right?
Do you know, it gets me thinking.
Get another monitor.
So if you think about it, like, you know, if there any ships, I'm trying to think, like I was thinking of my Saber, for example. To be sat in the Saber for that length of time is going to cause serious damage to my character. Could actually cause a health risk if you're sat down. I wonder if they will do health damage for being in the ship.
Listen, just stop eating tacos, man.
Do you know what I mean?
No health risk.
Yeah, because obviously, I think it's what 12.
I started this journey. I could get behind the steering wheel.
You
now
can't sit still for. You can't.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah,
you can't
because you can get blood clots. You can get blood clots in your legs. Yeah.
Exactly, all that stuff. So I was thinking, you know, you're pulling G's, it's going to be.
Yeah,
worse,
can you imagine that though? You're nearly there, and you've taken 6 hours to get someone. You're nearly there. And you're
stand up and you die,
and then you end up bleeding. You're like dying out, and there's course blood clot, and you're like, I wish I never mentioned this.
Madness has just added another feature to the game. Oh, another 6 months delay again.
Chris is calling a meeting right now.
Right now. Oh shit! We completely need to have the Saber needs to be expanded, made bigger, so that the guy can get out. And see
let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So, do you think outposts will look different compared to other outposts if they were built by different manufacturers? So we've kind of got this, but it's only color and stuff, isn't it, at the moment, really? They just change the design on the outside and make it look slightly different, but
different sound effects.
They're the same otherwise. Eventually, I hope we do see different things.
Yeah, I hope that they eventually do. I mean, I imagine they'll do, you know, like not like a loot bot system, but like a cosmetic system where you can buy
loot box system.
No, I mean a cosmetic system. Cosmetic system.
Loot crates.
Not loot crates. Cosmetic system. So that you physically buy aesthetic gear for your buildings and stuff to make them different.
Just stick a couple of goblin heads.
You can earn them in game.
I mean,
and there'll be special things that I think you know, like Christmas edition.
I don't think it's more like manufacturers though. So if like Shubin make one or someone else make it, it's
they're
not. The thing is, they're not really making the pods at the moment. It's like one company's making the pods, and then these different companies are owning them. So they're putting their stamp on. I don't know whether we'll get to the point. Maybe, I mean, eventually. In the future, you're going to probably maybe get someone else that does them slightly different designs. But I think for now, you're going to just see the standard design, and then you'll see it different colors, different sounds. Like Man is saying, different customizations. But it's going to be the same building at least for a while.
Hopefully, internally that'll be where the bulk of the customization will be to start with, and then externally will come later. I hope. You know, because there's nothing better than doing internal customization, but who knows, they might do both. It's all about the tools that they can build and how quickly, you know, they surprise us all the time, so you never know. I'm waiting more for I'd like to see the customization of our characters first, if I'm being honest. That's what I would like to see first than just the buildings. I'd like to be able to customize my face and my character and the clothing a bit more. We've already seen a little bit of it and it's really nice. I like it, but I want to change the color. I hate having the mixed match of pieces of armor and not being able to color them all the same. That does my head in. You know, I want to be able to put them all in black or, you know, that stuff. So hopefully that will come soon.
Parts of it, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's buggy. It's annoying. I hate this tanned yellow and mixing it together. Right. Any more questions, or are we going to wrap it up?
We'll do one more.
One more. Okay.
We've got a few more, but we'll save them for next time. We'll do this last one. Do you think Star Citizen will ever become a movie? Star Citizen or Squadron 42 will become a movie?
There's a potential.
He did it with Wing Commander, so yeah.
Done movies before, so yeah.
But then I think there will also be community movies that are made from the gameplay as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. That's a definite. There already is.
Especially when the whole VoIP and all that kind of stuff goes in, and you can move your characters.
Yeah, it's not really a movie. It's not a movie in the sense that he's on about.
No. But like, it's still, you can still see things being made either way. Yes.
That's machinima. That's not movies.
How many questions do we have left, Miz? Because we could just fast track them one for each person.
More if you just want to burn through them.
Yeah, let's just burn through them. Get everyone's questions done.
Do you think buggy racing will become a thing? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. if you're in an org that is trade and an org that is pirate and an org that is UEC military, will there be a problem? Yes.
Yes.
To expand on that slightly, if you're in an org that's pirate, this is pretty much anything. If you're in an org that's pirate, it's going to influence everything else around you. Because even if you're just associated with them, they're going to see that you're in a pirate org and they're not going to want to talk to you. So
yeah, I mean, you know, the associate that brings an interesting thing. It's like being associated versus actually being a member of an org. You know, will that have? What will be the impact?
I think even being associated. I mean, if people, unless you can hide that association, maybe not. But I mean, we need to see a little bit more in the mechanics. But I do think, like that's what I've been saying to Bios. Like if you flag yourself as a pirate or even associate with a pirate, people will look at you in a way, and that's it. They won't trust you. They'll see you as a pirate, and that's it.
Which is
so if you can hide that, then maybe you can get away with it. But I can't. Yeah, I do think there will be issues if you try to mix those different. I mean, you can be a trade org and a pirate if you want to be, but what it might mean is maybe NPCs won't make a difference of it. But if players see you and you're just going, "Oh, don't attack me! I'm just in I'm in my cargo ship today," they're going to go, "Well, no, I saw you last week on your pirate org. I'm going to blow the shit out of you." So
exactly, yeah.
You know, it's just not. I can't see.
I think that whole system is going to be very much player driven, as you see in other MMO type games as well. You know, if you are part of a guild or a free company or organization or whatever the hell you want to call it, that's always griefing people, and then one day you're driving about on your pink dragonfly in your whatever suit you want to put on, they're going to shoot you as well. You know what I mean? It's like you're. And if then people are smart enough to make second orgs that like operate next to their orgs, people will find out very soon enough anyway.
The reality is it's like the ships have specific, you know, they want you to be specifically and have advantages for being specific and not being generalized, too generalized. It's the same thing with this, you know, if you want to be a pirate or whatever else, you're going to have to pay the costs of that and not be able to do other things. And if you want to be able to do the other things, create another account or another name of a different character.
I don't like that, but I think that's what people are going to be doing. They're going to be having accounts for it. To me, I don't like that because I do think personally your reputation is your reputation. Live by what you do. But yeah, people really do that.
But they'll be bringing more character slots eventually as well. But I don't know
if you want to do it, if you could change it around though. You could do, I'm going to play the first 3 years of the game as a pirate, and then I'm going to change my reputation and try, and then in 3 years' time to become.
People will find out.
But you're going to piss those people off, and those people, even when you're being a goody two shoes, are going to go, "I'm still going to shoot you." So.
I know your reputation then lingers with you, like in real life. You know what I mean? So, you know,
if I murder someone and then to pay for it, is that fine? And then
so it's better to play as a good guy and then turn to a bad guy later at the end of the game rather than the other way around.
Okay, next question is from Flanders. We'll just bin that one.
Yeah.
Next question is from.
Was it a valid question or was it just a
not really?
Question?
Not
just
really.
It's gonna foul that sort of shit. If you jump and you end up in a battle between the UEC and pirate, what will you do? Shoot the pirates. No, I won't actually. I've got special contacts. I'll just move on by.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Off I go.
Yeah, go run, shit. Yeah.
Run away.
And then I'll meet the pirates in a different sector, and I'll sell them some extra goods that they can jump back in and fight the UEC with.
Can you do me a favor, Miss? Sorry, I didn't quite catch the question. Sorry.
If you jumped into a system, the UEC or I think it means UEE, and the pirates were fighting, what would you do?
I'd scan the ship, see if there's any valuable there. Wait, and then watch. Yeah, that's exactly.
I think Hayu knows, right? But you just see. Can you imagine just like vultures? Reclaimers are going to be like vultures. All of a sudden, hey, quick, mate, bring your fucking reclaimer. Next thing you know, you just have like all these reclaimers just ringing a big battle, just waiting for the salvage.
It's like TV series with the car crashes, where these trucks have to the first come first serve, you know. And they're like, and it's like 4 different companies going towards that car crash, you know, trying to to get the commissions that are taking it away.
Fights
It's
breaking
gonna be,
out in all different
queue up.
places.
Reclaimers are going to have to be in a queue, like take a ticket and
see
move
Madness
on.
and Bio grabbing each other with the arms of the Reclaimer. No, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, it's mine.
This is the kind of time when a vulture would be good, because whilst the fight's still going on, the vulture you could actually sneak in.
You get shot the shit out of if you come out of your ship with a plate in your hand.
Ignore me.
Thanks, Chris.
And Bio will be the only one going and helping the pirates. So.
Bio will be helping the pirates.
Yeah, I'll be those pirates that are killing.
It's just as long as it's like human pilots, because if it was NPCs, the pirates would turn on you eventually and probably try and kill you. So
yeah.
Okay, so that is it for the forms of the But Evis did say one question I wanted to read. He said that how long after the first animals are introduced into the game do you think it will take before the UEE announce verse-wide the first planetary extinction event due to humans staffing the animals with their ships and landing hunting parties?
I think they've probably already done that.
I would say about a day. I'd say about no, but I mean, if actual players get on and they see animals, yeah, let's go hunt them. Woohoo! Boom. Day one of alpha. Animals coming in. There'll be an extinction.
$4 you know how this goes.
You can see it. You go to spawn a ship and there's all these creatures like in the middle.
God. Yeah, no, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a thing personally.
No.
I think it would be quite funny, like news broadcasting, like talking about that TV channel, you know, it would be quite funny news, you know what I mean? Like, you know, first ever. I always remember like SimCity. Do you remember SimCity where you have the news reel at the bottom? They would give you the funny little news reports, the things that were happening and stuff. That kind of thing, maybe like in kind of a 3D, you know, would be quite fun. Like Sandy Gardner could be like a news presenter or something, reading out the latest news. Oh, latest news. Some sort of cute animal. Red foxes, pandas have died out on being murdered for their cuteness.
Yeah, will there be ship-to-ship communication? Yes, we've already had that. Well, we had vehicle-to-ship in the Gamescom demo because he was in the rover, and then they used the communication there to talk to the ship. So yeah.
It's on the Mobiglass. It's on the Mobiglass already. There's the button there. It shows you to communicate.
Well, that's ship to landing, but yeah, can you do ship to ship?
No. Well, there's a button there to be able to indicate ship to communicate
it's
to you. Like maybe it's when we were in. It's not. Yeah, we can't touch it, but it is actually there to communicate between each other. Yeah, it's there.
And last question, the very last question for Matt then is he's asking about the grappling hook. Well, if we could get a grappling hook and parkour for interesting stuff like in the movies, I think he means. Oh, didn't someone mention about that, like a kind of grappling gun, so you kind of shoot up to the top and pull yourself up?
I think Lando mentioned that somewhere.
We need grappling hooks for potentially for salvaging as well. If you're talking about getting out of your vulture to salvage, you know, grappling things, making things pull towards you. Yeah, I mean, 100% grappling hook needs to be a thing, in my opinion. And also grappling hook if you're a pirate and you're wanting to latch onto things, you know, to board ships and stuff. I think it would make a lot of sense to, you know, I'd love to see how they're going to do the mechanics of like judging distance and how far.
Yeah, that was just Sermon just said that, and I remember them saying something like in when they was talking about the Drake ships. He said anything to do with a rope, unless someone can come up with a rope mechanic to make it work, they're probably not going to implement it, because it's just maybe if you can have a tractor beam grappling hook, but I think it's because of the way the rope goes all over the place. It's a very difficult thing for them to program and code and get it to work. So yeah, maybe like a laser one or something, but not a rope, unless someone manages to crack it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Energy tether. Yeah, maybe an energy tether or something. I think they even said that in the video as well, actually. They said, well, what about if it was just an energy one rather than a rope one? And they said that would be more feasible and a good solution. So, yeah, hopefully, something like that. An energy one, just pull you up a bit. Be cool. And I think that's it.
That's it, boys.
All happy?
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm very happy. So we can do a very quick roundup of where to catch us and all, and then that'll be it.
Yep. Go for it. Sol, want to tell everybody what you're up to, where they can find you.
I will be working. I will try to stream a bit as well. It's been pretty hard at the moment, bringing the two together, which I really wanted to do. I'm still thinking of ways on how to do it, and which works for me as well. As my sleeping schedule is all over the place, I got customers in USA, I got customers in Oceania, in Australia, New Zealand. So for me, time zones are at the moment are crazy. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon today, UK time. So you have to imagine, for me, it's still morning, basically. You can find me on the Twitter at the moment, Soldotcreate, or on my website, soldotcreate.com. Still taking commissions, so I want to do the shameless plug. If you need any graphic work done, feel free to contact me, and we can see if we can work something out that you like, or working towards something. Feel free to give me a shout. But for the rest of it, I'll be playing some Ark, some more 3.0. Hopefully some more.
If you want to, if you just going to pimp you out of it, if you want to see some of Sol's work, like you've been working on, and some of the things that come out, you've worked on people like Crucian Gaming, and you can name a few others if you want to, Sol, before you end it.
Yeah, we got. Well, I'm working with a couple of partners. Some of them I can't mention as the content is still coming their way. Crucian I can, because it's general knowledge that I've redone Crucian's logo and its sub badges. Dummy Konami we're working on. Dummy is doing. Dummy is a Destiny 2 streamer. By the way, Osiris DLC is out. And we have two bit less known streamers, Savania and Alpha Belgium, which I'm working on complete Twitch overlays as well. Book Bierche is a nice Finnish one that is for everyone.
Worth looking at.
Go check him out as well. Star Citizen Community.
And is it www.soldotcreate.com? Is that correct?
But
so
dot spelled full out, so SOLDOT.
As his name is on the
as his name is on the show. Go check out his thing if you're interested. If you're thinking about streaming and you want to kind of you haven't got the time to set anything up, he's definitely a good person to hook you up for a good price, to get you a good layout and gear and stuff.
It is my main job nowadays, and I do enjoy it a lot.
Good stuff. Bio.
Yeah, I'm going to be streaming quite a lot this week because it's my week off work pretty much. I'm only going to be working 2 days this week, so I'm going to be streaming tomorrow twice. So normally about 11:30 a.m. to about 2, and then I'm going to be streaming 8 p.m. to about 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to be doing that on Friday as well, and then Saturday and Sunday is normally evening streams for me. So from 8 p.m. onwards, I do quite a bit stream there because I have got my son this week. On Saturday as well, it will be the Theories of the First episode 3, what will be on Joshua Fett's channel. So if any of you guys don't know what that is, we basically theorize and speculate about different parts of the game. We're not quite sure what we're going to be talking about next week, but we'll let everyone know through Twitter and that. But yeah, that's pretty much me. You can find me at bio_mechanical Twitch. So yeah.
I will be streaming probably, I don't know, with Miz at some point, maybe again this week, who knows. We will be doing you want to bring up the link, you can do, Miz, to the to our D&D that we do on Fridays now. So, and we do Dungeons and Dragons. Miz is the dungeon master, and I am the noob, Velros, elf, rogue and criminal. And we do that on Friday nights. So if people like Dungeons and Dragons, if there's anyone here that enjoys it, yeah, it's under my name, Album.
I see you hanging this letter strap.
That's the link. That's the link to
the intro next to my name. So Stout and Sturdy. So this is the intro I did for the show and stuff.
Definitely. So yeah.
Stout and Sturdy. It's a bit of a laugh. We do a bit of role playing, and if you're interested and never done Dungeons and Dragons, I mean, I was a complete noob to it, so I'm a complete noob. It's great fun. So that's on Fridays at what time do we start that? 8 o'clock, 8:30 on Miz's channel.
8:30, you said, yeah. On my channel.
Yeah, on Miz's channel. So I'll be doing that with Miz and a few other guys, and I'll be streaming. So yeah, check me out. A little bit of madness everywhere. Twitter. Twitch, a little bit of madness. You'll see me. Come and follow, and we'll be streaming Star Citizen 3.0 and having a good time.
Excellent. And me personally, same as everybody else, streaming some Star Citizen, and as Madness says, on Friday, we're very much noobing our way through D&D, by the way. It's not professional level, it's just noobing our way through, but we're learning software and stuff.
You'll get there. It's good fun, and it's a good learning curve as well. You know,
it's great. We've done 2 so far.
I think
it's
it
been
will
going
be good for
well.
Madness to develop his role-playing creative brain. You know, so that
more than just shooting,
more than just stab.
Than just pew pew. You know.
Although I'm still just at the stab stage.
He still is at the
threatening,
stab stage.
Still threatening
gnome shopkeepers and cutting off the ball bags off of 2 ogres so far. So yeah, he's doing really well.
It's still, I have a long way to go before I'm there, but we're working on it slowly.
But yeah, so that's good fun. So yeah, my name is G. All that, follow it everywhere. Same things, all of us. So do give us a follow. Most of all, please make sure you give this channel a follow so you're ready for next year when the Britizencon goes live. Buy your tickets, buy the t-shirts. You can get one of these lovely t-shirts. If you can make it, there is also a Discord channel. If you give me 2 seconds. So if you are going to go to the Britizencon event, there is also a Discord channel for that event. So go in there, say hello to the Britizencon organisers and everybody else. Start finding out what's going on and everything else. But other than that, thank you all for joining us. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Sol and Bio, for joining us again for another week. It's been good fun. And yep, thank you for everybody in chat. We appreciate your support. And hopefully we'll see you again for the next Addicted podcast. Should be next Monday on Madness's channel. Yeah, we're having at least another one. So
yeah, we have one more, and then we will announce that when we're going on holiday. I mean, we'll be taking probably obviously Christmas off, so for a few weeks, and then we'll come back. But I think we'll have at least one more next week before we take a break, or maybe another one. We'll see. I think it's definitely one more though. Cool. All right, guys.
Yes. Are we going to do a host?
Just having a quick look if anyone's got a suggestion.
Shall we do our friendly space bro, Dr. Drones?
We can do Dr. Drones if you want to. We didn't do it last week, did we?
Definitely go check out the rest of the Space Bros as well. I thought Mitt was here and Ubernerd and stuff. Great content creators. Definitely go check them out.
Check them all out. Matachi and Ubernerd, thank you so much for the host. Anyone that's hosted and followed and everything.
It's always big love to everyone. Just hang out with us, chatting with questions as well for Matt and stuff. Just great.
Yeah.
Dude.
Any questions you didn't ask, just save them up for next week. It will be fine.
We appreciate it. It's really good. It helps us and it's fun.
Okay, there goes. I thought it was redacted when you were going for that. No, up at the top of the screen, if you click on join the raid, that'll take you over to
mention Drones' beautiful shirt. You'll love
Dr. Drones. And yeah, this takes a little while, so we'll just keep talking for 2 minutes while it goes over. But no, we appreciate all your support, guys. So thanks very much. Yeah, show Dr. Drones love, and everybody else at Stream Star Citizen, guys. Go and make sure you're following everybody because we have got a good community. We do have a few trolls pop up like we did earlier. It does happen, but overall, the Star Citizen community is excellent. And if you have any questions and anything else to ask, most streamers are more than happy to answer your questions. Otherwise, yeah, come here and keep asking us here. And anyone that did miss the show, it will be on YouTube and on SoundCloud as well. That'll be going up tomorrow. So otherwise, goodbye, guys. Thank you very much. And we
see you guys.